he's probably my favorite Peter. Like I think he's a better Peter than Toby. I just like the Toby movies better.
I agree with you mostly. Like when Hulk really goes into Hulk, no more Banner, just Hulk. Like clear the city. You know what I mean? Like Hulk is so crazy in that sense.
Webbed him to the fence. He kicked another dude, webbed him to the side. This other dude, he webbed him to the face, pulled him forward, kicked him in the back of the head, and he went head first, legs up. I'm like, why didn't you try to save that guy? That dude's dead or paralyzed. There's no, one or the other. No in between.
Like at the start, when he's looking at his phone and like Ned's doing these vlogs, right? And he's in the Spider-Man suit and he doesn't have a backpack or nothing. And then we see him swinging. I'm like, where does he put his phone?
That's a very
Where does his phone go?
What's up, film fam, and welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name's Dion.
And my name is Scott.
And it's been 5 years, but Scott, we got a new Spider-Man movie.
Has it been 5 years? Damn.
It's been 5 years. I know, it didn't feel like it's been 5 years, but yeah, the last one came on 2021.
Damn. Well, I guess, because if you add in, he's been in, or no, he hasn't been in anything else,
right? He hasn't been anything.
Oh, shoot. Damn,
No Way Home was the last time we saw him. Unless I don't know if he had a cameo in one of the TV shows or not. I'm not 100% sure. It could be.
Maybe. Because, I mean, normally you would think, 5 long years, you got a big long beard. I went backwards. I shaved my beard in honor of Spider-Man, and like I wanted to look like a teenager again, just little young Spidey. That's me.
Brand new day, brand new face.
Brand new day, brand new face. That's right. And I've been on a run, bro. My last 3 weeks watching movies. I mean, as most people, 2 weeks ago I saw The Odyssey.
Oh,
like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
Last weekend I went and saw The Invite, which was a great movie. Really funny. And now Spider-Man, Brand New Day. That's a solid. No. I mean, this year's been great for movies, but those last 3 weeks, man, I'm feeling good. I'm up.
100%. When you said a run, I thought you meant like you've been on a run, like you went to like a marathon or something. Like I watched all 9 Spider-Man movies leading up to this or something like that. Or I guess it would be 10. I think there's 10. There's not including this one. There's 10 Spider-Man movies, I think. Not including the animated.
3 Tobys, 2 Andrews, that's 5. 2 animated is 7, and then 3 Tom Hollands before this. So that that now
10.
makes 11.
Yeah. So I thought that's what you meant by I've been on a run. I thought you were saying you watched. It's like I've been on a run. I watched all 10 leading up to this. I was like, damn, do your thing, bro.
Nah. If I were to do that, what would be the best way to do that? Like,
what do you mean?
Just in order of release, like you go with the 3 Tobys, 3 Andrews.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, why else would you do another version of that?
If you want to just go like based on like the quality, like do you want to?
Oh, okay.
Because you could go with like the weakest ones first, just to get them out of the way, and then leave yourself with some bangers. True. You know what I mean? Or you could just start off hot, and then I don't know. There's different ways you could do it.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't know if you meant like you just go 1-1-1, 2-2-2, and like do it like that. I didn't know but yeah, I guess we're talking about it. Yeah, I just said how other ways could you do it?
Exactly.
We just gave 2 different ways. I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But in this episode though, we will be responding to community thoughts through our family meeting. We'll be getting into our deep dive, and to close off, we have our Filmies, Scott, where we give out 6 awards to the movie we just watched. But before we get into all that, we have to give our general thoughts. General thoughts. So Scott, what was your general? I think I kind of know because you said you've been on a run, but maybe you'll give me more on that. But what were your general thoughts on Spider-Man?
It's good. It's good. It's really good. I really liked it. There's honestly similar to The Odyssey. I think like there's so many story elements at play here that I think we saw a lot of them in the trailer, or like they were alluded to in the trailer, which was what got me really excited. I love when a movie really challenges its character in so many ways, and this movie did that. And I'm so looking forward just to seeing. I'm so intrigued to see, okay, how is he going to deal with all this stuff? How is our hero going to overcome all this stuff? This movie had shocking moments. The action I thought was really good. It got me with the emotion. There's even a couple moments that I felt like a kid again, almost like relating to this character on a childish level, which I really enjoyed. It's great. I loved it.
That's awesome, man. And I agree with you on a lot of your points. I think it's interesting, like the out of the theater feeling versus like when you sit with the movie for a bit. And I'll be honest with you, when I first left this movie, I was a little disappointed. I was a little
Wow. Okay.
disappointed, and it's partly my fault. Just to give the context, like I was waiting for something, like I was waiting for a specific moment or an element of surprise that never came, and I think I just hyper fixated on that. So I think kind of going into a movie with that expectation, sometimes it can kind of ruin that initial first viewing. And I think I would enjoy this movie even more on the second viewing, but I still did enjoy it based off a lot of the things you said. Was there's like the action and just kind of some of the character beats. And when I say the
So
alternative viewing, yeah, ask your
yeah, so
question.
you would say, so you were anticipating some sort of shocking moment, like a specific thing that you were like, I thought this was going to happen, or you just wanted something shocking to happen and you didn't get it?
See, I think my it's been like my I mean it's kind of just my gripe with trailers just in general, and I
Mm,
beat this is a dead horse that's been beaten many times on this podcast of me saying like I don't like when trailers give too much away, and also I just don't. I'm someone that likes to go in pretty blind to things. I think you obviously know that with me, and I don't like to get too much information. Uh, too much information. I like to get information on the movie, but not too much information where I feel like, okay, I don't think there's too much mystery going
mm,
into it. And the reason why I say disappointed when I say it's my fault is twofold. It's one, it's going in with too high expectations, which can always be like a pitfall. And things can live up to expectations, but also if you go too high, you're kind of setting your own self up for failure. And two, it's also not safeguarding me for one of the biggest plot points, which was me seeing it online. And it also came up in our conversation we had with the pod you're looking for, which shout out the pod looking for, guys. I'm not blaming them. It's more on me where I should have been like, yo, guys, I don't want to hear it. The whole surprise, I won't say because this is a non-spoiler part. The whole surprise about the Sadie sink part
okay.
was something that I was like literally up until like close to the movie, I had no idea. And that idea
Mm,
of her being that character was not in my head. So if that happened in the movie and the name came across the screen or whatever it is, then it would have been like, oh snap. Like that would have been that big surprise. So the whole time in the movie, I was like, you know what? That thing got ruined for me. But maybe there's gonna be something else that like matches that level of surprise of that, oh crap, I didn't see that coming. So
mm,
in my viewing of this movie, this viewing experience, that was stuck in my head the whole time, and that disappointed it for me, unfortunately.
okay.
And I want to give you an example too, like to give you like a parallel where I realized like this is just like the way I like to just watch content now, and I realized about myself. You know who Chris Jericho is, right? The wrestler,
Yes. Yes, sir.
and
Three, 2000, 3000, or what's his,
oh
like
Y2J,
the wall? White. That's it. That's
oh
it. Yeah.
Walls of Jericho, yeah, and
Break the walls
you know what the
down.
Royal Rumble is, right? Correct.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this year the Royal Rumble, it's like 3, 2, 1, who's coming out kind of thing, right? This year, this is a comparison between me and my dad watching the Rumble, right? A lot of people online were like, oh, maybe Chris Jericho is going to come out for the Rumble, right? Maybe Chris Jericho is going to come out for the Rumble. So everyone's going into it being like, oh, he's going to return to WWE. Da, da, da. In my head, I was like, I wasn't on that discourse. So I was like, that's probably not going to happen. So like he didn't come out. And then I saw online later, people were like, oh, well, it was so lame. Chris Jericho didn't come out. I was like, I didn't even know he was going to come out. So I'm not
Mm,
disappointed because I didn't know that. And then there was also the other thing of like the two people that won the Royal Rumble, because there's a girl Royal Rumble, a men's Royal Rumble, and a female Royal Rumble. My dad was saying like, oh yeah, there's a lot of discourse about like this Roman Reigns was gonna win and this other person was gonna win. So he's like, so when it came into the four people, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of hear a lot of people saying like these guys are gonna win. I didn't know that, so I enjoyed it more. My dad was like, yeah, I didn't really like that much because I kind of felt like I knew who was gonna win. I didn't know who was gonna win, and that's how I feel about
yeah.
movies and all those things. Where it's just like sometimes that online discourse can like ruin the experience for me because they're putting this expectation in my head, or they're putting these ideas in my head where if like I didn't know those, I can watch it blind as a clean slate, like a just like delusional kid. You know what I mean? It's the
Hmm.
magic of when you're young, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that was gonna happen. Like, holy crap! Someone turns to you like, yeah, I saw online on like a Reddit thing that maybe that might happen. It's just like, well, it's not as fun then. Like, I want
Yeah.
to be surprised. Well, that's why I say it's on me where I put those expectations and I got disappointed because of that. But I think if I watch it a second time, then it would be like, oh well, now I can get over that because I know that's not. So then I can just appreciate all the elements. But I think I was so hyper fixated on the like, okay, I hope there's something bigger than the Sadie Sink surprise because I'm annoyed that got ruined for me. and I couldn't find it. So my brain was just like looking for that, and then I never.
But like the movie, I feel like yes, that is a big thing because it's a big character that we all have history with, and we're excited to see like where that goes from here. But I don't think the movie like that. Sure, that moment, that surprise, maybe didn't work for you, but I don't think the movie like hinges on that being like a big surprise because it's not like the big climactic reveal, right? Like there's still lots of movie after that and lots of fun aspects to it. So like I understand what you're saying that maybe like that aspect in the movie didn't work as well as it would have if you didn't know anything, which I'm surprised by the way that you didn't. Like everybody was making as soon as the trailer came out, everybody was like, "Oh, I know that's who it is. I know that's who it is."
But I stayed away from it. I didn't look. I didn't even
I'm
look up. I
impressed.
never even Googled who do people think this is. I just like I
Yeah.
stayed away from it. I didn't want to look it up. I avoided it like the plague. I
But the rest of
didn't
the movie,
want.
like there's so much other fun stuff that like I'm sure you could still enjoy, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff I did enjoy, and I want to get into a lot of that stuff. But I just had to be honest of just how I felt. Like my initial feeling, and like I think I watched it with my sisters, I watched it with my mom, I watched it with Eloise, and like I I just had to be honest. When I left, I was like, oh man, like I feel this feeling of like disappointment. It wasn't this feeling of like, oh man, like I loved it. I was like, I need to sit with this for a bit and like get past that and think of the other elements. Which now from sitting with it, be like, you know what, I really like this, I really like this, I like this. But my
Mm-hmm.
genuine feeling, my general thoughts, is kind of like the step out the theater thoughts was just like disappointment. And I think I
Mm-hmm.
definitely appreciate it more on a second watch because then that hyperfixation would just be past me and I can enjoy the other elements way more, which there is elements of this I still really enjoyed, even with that being like a lingering thing over my head.
Yeah, I just think because if this movie was like a thriller, right, and the whole
Yeah.
thing of the movie is like who's the killer or like who is this person, like
Yeah.
then if that gets ruined for you, then I get it. Like the whole movie
Yeah.
almost doesn't work in that sense. But like in this one, like I feel like the appeal of the movie, I feel like what it does really well is like the emotion. Like it's really emotional and really got me with that stuff. So even there's though maybe that shocking moment didn't work, like you must have got hit with the emotion of this stuff. You must have really felt
Yeah.
for these characters, and like I personally like the ending. I really loved, and I'm excited to talk about.
Oh, same. Yeah, there was some things that did work for me, like on the emotional beats, and some things that didn't work. But yeah, no, I'm really interested to hear what your opinions are on some of those things.
Yeah, I also think the Hulk and the Punisher. I think they were great additions to the movie. Like, but it was still a Spidey movie. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
it wasn't like Civil War, let's say, where it's like
Yeah.
this is really Cap's movie. This is like a Avengers movie, right? This is still very much a Spidey. It's not like we're going to see what Bruce is doing over here and how that'll affect Spidey or what Punisher's doing over there, what Frank Castle's doing. Like, no, he's talking to them and engaging with them, but it's still Peter's story. He's in all of these moments, and I think it really felt like Spider-Man to me, like the way I know Spider-Man, like with all the technology. Like he's a nerdy guy, like he's really really smart, and he was working on these kind of stuff, and like the way he back to the kind of a little more of the street level stuff where he's like webbing up people for the cops to come get. He's not working on Avengers level threats. Like he's stopping bank robberies and stuff like that. It's still the scale does still go up. Like there's a lot of destruction and stuff going on in the city, but like it still felt like a Spider-Man movie, which I really liked.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree too, and like I agree with your point on Hulk and the Punisher edition too, because I really like those characters. I like their being in there too. It almost makes you question too, and I think I'm like, you could have done the movie without them. Not and again, I did like them being there in the movie, but if you think about what they brought to the movie, you could have. They didn't have to be in the movie,
Yeah.
which makes
Yeah.
it work, which is why I'm saying it
Right.
works. As just to go with your point, it is a Spidey film. They honestly didn't have to be in it. He could have went to someone else for help, and then he could have fought someone else like in that situation. And the kind of all the beats with the Punisher could have been someone else, or they could just not have been there. So it,
Yeah.
it really is like a Spidey film. It doesn't feel like it's a okay. Now we're gonna be with Hulk for like 20 minutes. We're gonna be with Punisher for 20 minutes. It's like no, no, no. They're just like little additions here
Yeah,
that
they're
will come
helping
in at
him
point.
or hurting him or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
and also a big general note, I just loved the darker and grittier, dirtier look and feel of this movie. Like, this is a New York City movie, in which I'm not shitting on New York City. I'm saying it's a dirty whole piece of crap. It's not, but it's not bright and polished. It's just not. And the other earlier Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are just really bright and polished and clean. And like in this one, he's falling into alleyways when there's garbage, and he's living in a storage room, and there's just junk all over the place. It really feels much more like lived in, and just like the Spider-Man that I know. Like, he's broke. This guy he's broke and alone. Like, he shouldn't be in this penthouse apartment type of thing. Like, that's not who he is. He's supposed to be living like this, to be anyways. And I really think it worked. I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so too. The tone is definitely something that I appreciate about this movie, in just being also just felt more serious, and just there's a lot of just like the visuals that just like it just felt different. Obviously, we got different directors, so that's like a big reason why the tone, and I'm sure just the direction. Like, we're calling a brand new day, so I feel like we got to do something that feels new. It'd be weird to go brand new day and it's like, yeah, we're just same tone, everything, same jokes, everything.
Same old day. It's not actually exactly. Brand new day.
Yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man, same old shit.
Same old shit. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I guess the older ones too, though, they had to keep up with like the whole MCU at large, big picture type of thing, like the whole Avengers feel, which was pretty light and polished, wasn't very like dark and gritty. So I get it. I just like this better.
Yeah, no, that's fair. 100% fair. With that being said, though, Scott, I think it's time.
Let's get into the family meeting.
I don't have friends. I got family.
All right. The family meeting is here. And I asked the question on our Instagram, who's your favorite Spider-Man? Pretty simple. It's a classic question that's been asked many times. So we got a response. I only put Toby, Andrew, and Tom. Mm-hmm. You had made the point after that I missed one. But Shamik Moore is not going on the list. He's not even an option. Screw that guy. We should have had that third Spider-Man movie by now, and it's because of him that we don't. So he's not even an option.
That's fair.
Miles is cool. But
yeah, Miles. Yeah, I thought you meant it more in that sense. You said Spider-Man, not Peter. You didn't say the actor, so I was like, wait, did he forget one? But that it's justified. Your reason for putting him in there. I don't blame you. It's fine.
Yeah, it was more like, yeah. I mean, you make a good point. I didn't really say. I meant Spider-Man, who's like actor. I guess that's what I meant, but maybe I wasn't clear. But anyways, with the options I gave, Tobey Maguire received 50% of the votes as a favorite Spidey. Andrew got 10, and Tom the remaining 40%. So everybody got a little bit of love. Mm-hmm. That's kind of more or less what I expected. Maybe a little more for Toby. Just kind of like, it really, I think, just depends on your age. I think that's like the biggest.
This is factor. A Jordan LeBron thing to me.
Yeah,
that question basically.
What do you think?
I broke it down into like, I like the Toby movies the best. I think Andrew is the best at being funny in the suit as Spider-Man. Because I think that's something that, like, I don't say people forget. Like, if anyone that watched the cartoon, stuff like that, which is like almost on a corny level, but that's just who Spider-Man is. This guy's just always cracking jokes. I wouldn't say as much as Deadpool, but like there was a good part of this where like he, like Tom's character, which I feel like Tom's portrayal doesn't get it as much, where he took the piano and threw a scorpion. He's like, let's end on a high note. Like, that's the kind of stuff Spider-Man would say in every battle. And every kick is a pun. And I feel like Andrew's Spider-Man is the only one that really did that a lot. And I like that his Spider-Man did that. And then I like Tom as like he's probably my favorite Peter. Like, I think he's a better Peter than Toby. I just like the Toby movies better. There's some nostalgia in there. But I think, so I don't know what that even means for my answer. I like a little bit of all of them for different reasons. Tough.
And I agree with you mostly. I'm gonna shout out Sad Professional on Reddit, who has a mostly similar opinion to me. He said, to me, Toby was a great Peter but an okay Spider-Man. Andrew was an okay Peter but a great Spider-Man. Tom is an awesome Peter and an awesome Spider-Man. And I am similar to that opinion and kind of what you're saying, 100% Andrew is the best Spider-Man. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's one. I think he's just so funny and confident and quippy and sarcastic and kind of
Yeah.
like that's, to me, that's Spider-Man, and he absolutely nails that. I don't love him as Peter because I think
Yeah.
he almost carries some of that into Peter, and I think
Yeah.
Peter and Spider-Man, my view of the character is that he's basically two different characters. Peter
Mhm.
is kind of like this dorky and lonely and skittish kind of guy, and then he puts the mask on, and then he becomes confident and
Yeah.
funny and quippy. So I think Andrew's almost just too cool as Peter. Like, he's
Yeah.
skateboarding around, like that's kind of cool, man. You know what I mean? And he gets a girl, and I mean the girl's always part of it, but like he does. I feel like he doesn't struggle that much to get good. I think he's just too cool as Peter.
Yeah, that was always. I think that was a lot of the big. There's a couple issues with the Andrews, Spider-Man, but I think that was one of the things for me. I was like, yeah, he's a little. It just doesn't fit. Which again, in these world of like the comic book world, or whether it's DC or Marvel, you can do so much with these characters because you can just look at it and be like, you know what? There's probably a comic where there's a version of this Spider-Man because there's just so many
Yeah,
different versions of everything. But
true.
like I can also be like, well, I just don't like this version. And I like, to
Yeah,
me, there's been so many times where Spider-Man is like the it flips where he's like this when he's Peter, and he's like this when he's Spider-Man. So for him to be like cool throughout, I'm like, hey, maybe there is a version of this in the comic book, but I don't like that. I don't like this interpretation. I want him to be what I've seen in the cartoons, what I saw from kind of with Toby. So yeah, and I agree with that take on Andrew.
yeah. I think Toby. I think he's the best Peter. You say you think Tom is
Mm,
the best Peter. I think Toby's the best Peter because I think he really did play that like uncool, kind of
mm,
lame, and he almost doesn't have like a ton of personality when he's Peter, which you could see as like a lame character, which I understand. But to me, again, like that's kind of the way he's supposed to be. And I think the
yeah,
way he's portrayed in that movie too, like I said, like he's in a crappy apartment, and he's trying to just deliver pizzas, and he's getting fired from his job. Like, he's down in the dumps a lot
yeah,
as Peter, which I really like. So I think he's the best Peter. But as Spider-Man, like he's not very quippy. He's not very super
yeah,
like confident, stuff like that, until Spider-Man 3, when he gets the
yeah,
venom on him, and then he's, dancing around and that. But like
yeah, exactly.
you almost should have been doing that like from the jump, I think, as
No,
Peter
100%.
or as Spider-Man. And then
Yeah,
Tom, I think, is just a really good mix of both. I think, like I said, I think Toby's the best Peter. I think Andrew's the best Spider-Man, and I think Tom is just good. Like, not the best, but good at both.
yeah. I think the Tom one is like one of the ones now I think back to where especially compared to the Toby one, they actually feel like high school kids.
Yeah,
I always look back and be
true.
like, those. I thought I was watching people like in college already. I was like, you trying to
Yeah,
convince me that they were all high school kids? You go back to the high school scenes, I'm like, no one here looks like they're in high school. They all look like they're 25 or 30. At least
yeah,
like when Tom was Spider-Man, he was actually like 20 or 21. So at least it's a lot closer. All those actors were like almost pushing like 30, and like everyone around them was too. That's a lot of 2000s movies in general,
yeah.
but it just didn't feel like a high school movie. This actually felt like a high school kid. And
That's a good point.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's the difference with those with
yeah.
those two movies.
I do agree with you there, but I don't. At the end of the day, that's not really like Toby's fault.
No, it
Like,
isn't.
they
No.
just wanted to cast an older person. Like, as like you said, that's just kind of the way it was back then. You had these geezers playing high school kids. But you're right. I do like that they actually went with someone young
Yeah.
for Tom this time. I'm gonna shout out Far Efficiency on Reddit, who said Toby will forever be my Spider-Man. I don't care how much money the new movies make or the high ratings. Spider-Man is Toby, and Toby is Spider-Man. No hate towards Holland or Garfield, but some things are just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, fair enough. Again, that's,
Which is
I
fair.
think, generational thing is probably just whoever you grew
Oh,
up watching, right?
yeah, no, 100%. And like I stopped. I'm never really arguing with anybody, but like I
Yeah.
understand the whole generational thing. Where even like I've talked to some people that'll be like, Keaton is Batman. I don't care what you say, which I'm like, which is fine. Yeah, You grew up watching Michael Keaton. That was the first big
Sure.
Batman movies. You really like those movies, and the first one's really good. The first Batman with Keaton is really good, and I think Jack Nicholson's really good. That's your Joker too. And then he really gets into, I'm like, yeah, this is just a generational thing at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Because my
Um,
sister's, I saw my sister voted, and she's put Tom. I'm like, yeah, that's the first ever Spider-Man movie you saw. She's
yeah.
never even seen the Toby one at that point or the Andrew one. So I'm like, yeah, this ended up just becoming a generational debate. I guarantee that dude that left that comment is probably 30.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or older, honestly, because there
Yeah.
wasn't really a Spider-Man before that. So, um, finally, I'm going to shout out Super Saiyan Gaming, who said Andrew for me, but it's not just because of him. His chemistry with Gwen was the best to me. My fave Spidey couple, which, like I said, I kind of disagree with. I thought it was. I suppose I don't disagree with necessarily their chemistry,
Mm,
and I think maybe their relationship plays the biggest role in out of the Spider-Man movies. Like we see, spoiler warning for the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but we see her die at the end of it.
yeah.
So that's just a big deal in those movies. But he said, I also like the taller Spider-Man. I think that's a really good point. I think, seeing him like more lanky, kind of like crawling around and stuff, like
Hmm.
it looks more like a real spider. I think that's a good point.
Yeah. That is a very good point. I didn't even think about that, but that's a good
Yeah,
point.
I like that.
I'm kind of curious what, like, we talked about. There's a lot of things to talk about, obviously, with this movie,
Yeah.
and we talked about the tone a little bit, and I kind of want to go in on just kind of like the arcs. Like, what did you think about like Peter's arc throughout this movie, just in general? If you had any points on kind of what he went through, we kind
Yeah,
of
I
talked about
mean,
how he was lonely and everything, and
yeah, I really like that. And I think everything by the end of it felt really earned. Like I said, there's so much conflict that him for him to deal with. There's the well, I'll give a spoiler warning. Spoiler, we're going into
okay,
spoiler
yeah,
territory from now
yeah,
on. If you haven't seen the movie, fair warning, we're gonna spoil it. So, there's the stuff with Ned and MJ. There's obviously the main villain, the mind skipping villain, who we learn is Jean Grey, and the whole genetic mutation story. That was really cool too. Like I'd never seen that before in
hmm,
a Spider-Man movie or a TV show. To be honest, I haven't seen all the TV shows, but um, and I think it was an interesting arc for him to embrace it by the end of it. Like when he wasn't like he had never gone through this, and we see him kind of like he has wrist pain and stuff like that,
yeah,
and then he does this whole inhibitor to prevent this from happening, and then we see him kind of work through it and be like learn to embrace the changes that like his body is physically going through, but also like processing not being with his friends and not being with Aunt May anymore, and then kind of embracing moving forward as a new Peter, as a new Spider-Man. I thought that was really well done. I will say though, when I saw him like squeeze the webbing
oh
out of his
yeah.
wrist, that was kind of gross.
Yeah, I was very just that was nasty. but no, but no, I agree with all your points. I think it was interesting. Like I didn't know we were gonna get a time jump like that. Like we basically saw them go through their whole college experience, and he was just watching it.
Yeah.
We got those 4 years, and to your point, it was nice to see him go to back to like that ground level stuff. It's just like it kind of felt like the video game. It's like I start with just like some bank stuff like that, and then you're gonna get some bigger ones. You're gonna get Scorpion. You're gonna get what's it called? I didn't even forget the name of that dude. Tombstone. You're gonna get Tombstone. And you're just gonna get you're gonna get the quick version of the hand, like a quick moment. You don't really get the full fight, you get that a little bit later. So it was nice to kind of see him go through this journey of like, okay, this is the passage of time, and like he's got to experience this, but he's still like constantly checking up on them and like seeing like what they're doing in their life and stuff like that. So that I actually didn't expect to get it like that. I didn't know we are gonna get like a 4 year kind of like
Yeah.
montage basically.
No, I didn't expect that either. Like in the trailer, we saw all the comic accurate like the posters basically of him like swinging and carrying someone, and
Yeah.
like just the guy hitting the guy like into the wall and all this stuff. So I kind of expected that to be kind of spread out throughout the movie. Like these are villains that he's fighting throughout the story. We all it kind of just all gets dumped right at the start of the movie
Yeah.
in like this time skip montage that I really didn't expect. But and I kind of expect this movie to take place kind of right after the last one. So like to have a
Mm-hmm.
time jump of him, going through being Peter on his own without anybody knowing who he was, that was pretty cool. And I mean, and going through the natural, like the genetic mutation again, like the kind of figuring out the natural webbing. We even get like a rooftop scene of him, which has got to be a direct homage to the Spider-Man 1 when he goes up on the roof and he's like trying different things to try and like
Yeah.
figure out how to shoot the webs. It doesn't go as long as the other one where he's like, go web, up and away web. And like that stuff is really funny. But the fact that we even get that, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, no, that is really cool. There was a part of me that was wondering like why this was happening, because there was an element of like, is it because of this world that kind of like Doctor Strange created where it's like, and this is just me just speculating again, like I don't know anything, like I'm not deep into like the Reddit threads or anything like that, where it's like, is this like, because obviously we get Jean Grey, is this like a mutant saga? Like is he kind of like a mutant now? Is he not just like a regular Spider-Man? Like in this world now, Spider-Man's a mutant and he's going through his mutant transportation, or is this kind of what was going to happen regardless whether what Doctor Strange did or not? I don't know. I don't know what you thought, or if that even thought came through your mind.
No, but that is a good point. I mean, I think it totally works though in the sense that for Jean Grey, like I think it was a great setup for her, and like the fact that she's connected to Peter in that sense where they relate to each other, right? Where like her mom abandoned her, so she only has her sister. He wasn't abandoned, but his parents died, and then he was with his aunt, and then she died. So now he's on his own as well. And but the contrast of like Aunt May embraced Peter's gifts. So later in the movie, when Peter's trying to talk to Jean and try to stop her from doing all this crazy stuff she's doing, it makes sense. She jumps into his mind. It's that scene with Aunt May in the bedroom talking to him, but now she's seeing it, and she kind of steps into that role as Peter. So Aunt May's like consoling her and saying like, no, you're this is a good thing, all these gifts, and like we love you because of who you are, not just because you're special, like all this good stuff. It totally works so that like they, she says, I don't have anybody. He says, well, you have me. And that could easily just be like a corny kind of movie line that you throw in.
Yeah.
But to me, like it totally felt earned because they actually have this connection and they relate to each other in this kind of loneliness and trying to accept who they are with the gifts that they have.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that was one of the things too, which will get, like I was saying, I start off by saying I was disappointed, but these are the elements that I really did enjoy. Like I liked um that bonding thing that they came between, and her just coming in the mind and her finally getting that. She's like, this isn't actually like getting it from my mom, but just being in this space and Aunt May saying those things to me, like everything she's saying, she said exactly to you, but like this actually resonates to me. Like I never had a mom or a parent say this to me, and it just makes me think of back to those X-Men movies where it is kind of wild to think like all those parents that abandon their kids. Like I find out my kid has superpowers and I'm like, get out of my house. Like it's such a weird concept. What do you think about like, first of all, I'd be afraid of them. If anything, why would I tell them to get out of here?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're mutant scum. Get out of here, you freak. Like that's just kind of the way it's portrayed.
Yeah,
in
that's
those
just the
movies,
way it is.
But yeah, you're right.
It is interesting. I also got to say this too. Like I actually had to go back and I didn't watch the full movie, but I went back just like to watch a video because it just I was like, did Jean do this in the first couple of movies? She did not. At least in the first movie, she wasn't jumping from minds to that. From what I remember, like obviously this is part of her powers, but like obviously again with it being each movie, you can do different interpretations of like how far her powers have come and how far they are in her journey. But like from what I remember, it was like, okay, she can move stuff with her mind and she can get into people's minds if she like puts her hands like here and like close her eyes, then she can get in their mind and kind of seeing what's going on in there. I was like, I don't remember, maybe it wasn't in 2 or 3 that she could just go in people's minds and then move them and talk through their. I was like, that's a new thing that I haven't seen. Again, we are noobs. We're not Marvel experts or anything, so maybe that happens a lot more. But from the movies that came out in the 2000s, I don't think she ever did that. So that
No.
surprised me.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, I
And
do
as a
know that she could
teenager
stop
too.
time. I do know that she could like stop and like freeze everything. I've
Yeah.
seen her do that. But the
Yeah, I've
mind
seen her do that
skipping
as like
thing,
the
no.
Phoenix. But like when she
Mm,
like by like the third movie when she gets like that's basically like full power. But she's an adult too at that point. So I think that was the thing that like surprised me. I'm like, oh, she's doing all this as a teenager. That's terrifying. Or I guess I
yeah,
don't know how. Maybe she's supposed to be a teenager at this point. Maybe she's probably a little bit older. Maybe like early
yeah,
20s, I
maybe
guess.
early 20s. Yeah, I don't know. But she's obviously super, super strong. The fact that she could just block off and freeze a whole kilometer radius
Yeah, it's insane.
and like just keep doing that while moving this guy closer, holding the glass shards up to him, controlling the hand while they're fighting Peter. Like she's super freaking strong. So they're gonna have to, I don't know, moving forward, like in X-Men movies or whatever they do with her in the future, how they're gonna like power scale this
Yeah.
because that is so freaking strong. Like I don't know, what is the Thing gonna do against that? You know what
I
I
know
mean?
that's
What
the
is
tough. Yeah,
it's
no,
how do you
100%.
combat that? Not that they're
That
going
is
to
the
be
tough
fighting
thing
each
as
other
we.
necessarily,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean?
I know what you mean though. I know what you mean, and like that is like it's still exciting. Like you like to see these characters, but like once you start introducing the X-Men, like Professor X, and you start getting in like Magneto and all that stuff, you do have to be like, okay, like you're kind of relevating like certain characters to be useless. Like we joked about the Doomsday character, but like let's say Jean's acting up and then the new Avengers got to take her on. What are they doing? You know what I mean? Like you get to a
Yeah.
power scale where it's just like some heroes now are just like irrelevant. Where it's just like only like the Scarlet Witch and certain people like that can really even defend some of these people where it just gets so ridiculous. I'm sure there's obviously a workaround and you find interesting ways. You put Magneto in like a place where you can't get to iron or whatever it is, like even in the
Yeah.
blood. It's like there's all these things that you can do, like workarounds that have been put into comic books and stuff like that. But like when you start seeing powers like this, you're like, thank God that she couldn't get into Spider-Man's mind because like the movie would just be so like, what could he even do in this movie if she actually could control him? Like that was like the one defense that helped him throughout this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you literally wouldn't be able to do anything. She
Yeah.
would just yeah, she'd be complete or he'd be completely powerless. I think the whole like VMAX
Mhm.
thing too, like that she's searching for. I thought that was a really intriguing red herring kind of throughout that like it keeps being brought up. So we're like, okay, what is VMAX? I don't know what it is, but this is what she's looking for. And then, we find out that she has a sister and that's what she's actually looking for. But when it gets to the end and like we see the tape on the vent as
Yeah.
she's tied up in that room, it's just so heartbreaking when we find out that
Yeah.
what VMAX actually is the last thing that her sister saw while she was being tortured to death. And like as
Yeah.
soon as we see that, we're like, oh no. And like
Yeah.
obviously in this last moment, like before she died, I guess her brain exploded or whatever, and that's like sent the last image to Jean, and that's why she saw VMAX. But like that was just such a heartbreaking moment that like was really cool that it ended up being just like the name of a vent, and
Mhm.
it's not like this big super serum or this big weapon or something that we almost expect it to be, because this is the big thing that she's looking for is VMAX, and it ends up being like a just a picture rather than a thing. You know what I mean? I didn't see that coming. That was great.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that either, and like, I did think that was really interesting touch. Because part of me was wondering, like, I was just speculating, and then this doesn't go to my whole like expectations thing, but I was just like, that was like a genuine like curiosity, like mystery thing that was going on throughout the plot, where I was like, what is going to be in there? Like, at first, I kept thinking it was like a thing, and then I was like,
Yeah.
is it going to be a person? Is it going to be like another X-Men? Like, my mind didn't even go to like maybe it's her sister because again, like I didn't know, I don't know the full origin stories of Jean, so like I didn't even really know she had a sister. So that never even came to my mind.
I wasn't sure that she had a sister, but I thought she did. And so like when she gets shot with the blow dart, right? And then she says
Mhm.
Sarah before she passes out. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her sister.
Mhm.
Then we get the whole flashback of them in the park and all that stuff. Um, I will say like that the director of the damage control, like when it's kind of
Mhm.
flipped and shows that he's the one, you know, taking advantage and figuring all this stuff. They even have a weapons against Spider-Man, and like he's the
Yeah.
bad guy per se of the movie. I saw that coming. I like
Yeah.
from the first meeting when, you know, he's talking about like, you're the only one that can resist the mind jumper. And I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna take him and try and like. I thought they were gonna like try and take him and experiment and try and figure out a way of how is he doing it so that we can replicate it and not be controlled by this person. But like, I just knew something was up with this guy. And then the whole Sarah thing, like she said, Sarah, what does that mean? He says it's someone I worked with. I was like, oh well, that's definitely not true. But
Yeah.
um, but again, it didn't really I don't even know if it was meant to be a big shock. Like the fact that
Yeah.
he's a
No.
bad guy. I think it was more just like, damn, they took her sister and they killed her, and now Jean's
Yeah.
in this room and they're about to do the same thing. And seeing her like freak out in the room and like skipping, like she's going off the chart, she's going faster than her sister ever could, and then just freezes everyone. Like it just looked so cool. Everything about that was really cool.
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and I, I agree with you too. Like, and again, it didn't ruin for me because I wasn't like I didn't feel like that needed to be a big surprise. Where I was like, yeah, I don't trust these dudes. Like, I actually thought like I thought damage control was kind of basically going to kind of be like what I forget the name of the organization, but they created like the Sentinels in X-Men, where it's just like they're just the
Mm,
organization that is just trying to kill all mutants basically because they don't trust them. And that's
right.
kind of like the whole reason Magneto is like, well, look at they have this whole organization that's trying to like just take us out. And I thought that's what they were. This is like the early stages of that organization where it's like, let's like study these and let's figure out like how we can block mutants' powers and whatever it is. Like I didn't know if they even knew about mutants. Like if they're like seeing like they're finding like, oh, they're popping up here and here, so like let's have a defense, like almost on some like Lex Luger shit where they're just like that same kind of mindset of like nobody should have powers. Let's find a way to like kill all of them or like use her to kill to find other ones in the kiss. I didn't know what their plans were, but as soon as I saw that dude, I was like, yeah, no, they're doing some sneaky stuff. If you have a room where there's where like a vault, there's nothing
Yeah.
something not great in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, and the way when they get in the vault, like that whole Hulk fight, because you know, we know Jean's in the building
Mhm.
and she's talking to him over this radio somehow. I don't know how she got a
Yeah.
walkie-talkie in with the guy, but whatever. Um, like did he leave a walkie-talkie on his desk before going into that vault? Like actually, now that I think about it, how the hell was that a thing?
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, because why would he have the walkie-talkie? Then why would she? Like, yeah, I guess maybe he wanted to talk to her. He was thinking like, I was hiding here, and if she wants to talk, then yeah, I don't know. That is
That's dumb.
it's a very good point. Like I get like they didn't need to have a scene being like, "Hey, I left that walkie-talkie for you." Like as she's walking into the room and then she picks it. Like we don't need to see all that, but I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's what probably what happened.
Or he just left it on the desk with a note attached to it, like for Gene or something. But like, how did he? I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, then like something's banging on the wall. Did you realize that was Hulk right away?
I didn't at first, but then I started to speculate. I was like, maybe that's Hulk because I was thinking about like I was like, when are they gonna fight? Because we already know,
Yeah,
like we
true.
knew from the trailer that there was gonna be like the whole like Hulk clap thing. So I was like, yeah, when is that gonna happen? So then I was like, oh, maybe that is the Hulk. I wasn't for sure, but
Hmm.
it took me a while. It wasn't like immediate. I don't know if did you like immediately thought like, oh, this is the part where he's gonna fight Hulk. I don't know if
I was
you.
actually I for whatever reason that didn't even pop into my mind at all. I
Mm,
had no idea what it was. But now that after I saw it, I was like, oh, that's so obvious. Yeah, of course that's the Hulk. Yeah, that.
yeah,
But um, and then the
which
Hulk
was
fight
awesome.
itself,
Yeah,
you liked
go.
it?
Yeah. Well, I liked there's elements that I liked of it. I
Okay.
liked him the transforming, like when the chip's
Mm,
off and he's just like, there's no more Banner, just Hulk. And seeing him
yeah.
turn, and then when he gets big and flexes on him, he's like, I've never seen you get that big before. I'm like, let's go. We haven't seen this.
Yeah.
This dude's been neutered since Endgame. Maybe even like Infinity, where he's just been this smart Hulk, or now he's just Banner, where it's like we never got to see like the rampaging Hulk in a minute, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude's a. And you forget how much of an absolute beast this guy is. Like when he's just like trying to fight him, he's just throwing him around. He's got him outside the building and all the pieces of the building, and he's still like walking up. I'm like, oh my god, this guy is a freak of nature. I completely forgot how insane this guy is.
Bro. That you make such a good point. Like that, seeing him transform, we haven't seen that in so long. You're right. He was just a wimp for so long in these movies. So seeing him fully, but at the same time, because of that, like we saw him get so much bigger than we see him, and he was doing all this crazy stuff. I almost wanted more. Like I wanted him. I wanted more damage. Like I wanted him to like level the building almost. You know what I mean? Like I get why you can't for story wise, like why that. But he jump across to another building and blow that building up. You know what I mean? And then come back to this one. Like we saw the clap, which was really really cool, and Spider-Man like crawling on top of him and like webbing him up to the building, and then he just rips the building off, and then he's just like you said, just walking, carrying like parts, like just chunks of concrete, was super. And like he grabs Spider-Man and he's just beating him up. We see him grab him and like whip him on the ground like he did to Loki in Avengers. Like we saw all the fun stuff that we wanted Hulk to see. I shouldn't say that. We saw a lot of the fun stuff that we wanted from Hulk, but I wanted even more. I just wanted like when Hulk really goes into Hulk, no more Banner, just Hulk. Like clear the city. You know what I mean? Like Hulk is so crazy in that sense that he did a lot of damage to like a floor of the building. You know what I mean? I wanted more damage. I wanted to see him like go nuts.
Yeah, no, the mayhem that he can bring is absolutely ridiculous. And like I thought that was the peak of the moment where I was like, this is insane. But then when Peter gets the glove and I'm like, okay, he's gonna get a shot in on him, and he just blocks it. Nope. I was like, there's nothing you can do to this guy. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was such like a nope. I was like, oh, I thought he was at least gonna get a shot and then knock him out the window. No,
same.
The only way I'm falling out the window is on my own accord, and that's the only way he left the scene.
Yeah, which like, again, I get it, because how else do you beat Hulk? Like Spider-Man's super freaking strong, obviously, but how else do you beat him unless you can like just talk him down and talk him out of it, or you know he I guess sees his reflection and realizes what he's did, whatever. But man. I just wanted more. I was like, this is like you're actually doing the full Hulk. Like go all the way. You know what I mean? Like go all the way and have him do like some insane damage. Again, the basement of this building is where like they're going to be keeping Jean Grey. They have to do like the experiments or whatever. Like I get why you can't necessarily level this, and there's like the people are inside of it that are gonna, you know, shoot the blow dart at her, and like you got to do that for story wise. So you can't necessarily level this building. But like, I don't know, have him drop out of the building, have him grab Spider-Man and throw him at the next building, and then jump at him and then punch him through that building, and then just like blow the whole, like level the whole thing. You know what I mean? And then come back or something. But like, you're right. It was seeing Hulk like be Hulk again was really cool. But like, I feel like he wasn't 100%. Like I just wanted a little bit more.
No, I feel that. My only note, which is funny because I saw Destin say in the interview, like the director, he was even saying he's like, I wish we didn't put as much as we did in the trailer. So I think he almost was like, I wish we didn't put that Hulk moment in the trailer, because then I think it would have meant more, because we're ready for it to happen. Which I was like, yeah, man, like. I understand Hulk has never gotten a movie like Mark Ruffalo's character, but like this guy just pops up in everyone else's movies and he's never a surprise for whatever reason. I think that's one of the ones you could have just been like, honestly, my only note, you could have took out that whole scene. Like that scene was funny with him having him like him going to him for help and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Peter could have figured that out on his own. He's a smart guy. Just have him figure that out on their own. And then the first time we ever see the Hulk is when we're hearing the bang, 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 and we don't know what that is. And then it's like, oh, damn, Jean got control of the Hulk. And then that we see him transform. Then that would have been like, that's my only note, where it's just like, holy crap, the Hulk is in this movie and he's going absolutely crazy. Still fun for the reasons I said, but like, I think it would have been a little better if, like, one, like you said, maybe we got more, or if two, let's just like not even have him go to him for help. Because again, Peter's a smart guy. He
Yeah,
could figure it out.
it's a good point. I don't know if I necessarily agree though, just because I think if that were to happen, like if there's the bang on the door, we don't know what it is, then we reveal it's Hulk, then we'd all be like, okay, how did you, like, you're right, you could just say it's Jean Grey, she found Bruce and now she has the Hulk. But like I feel like for a character like that, that couldn't just come out of the blue, like out of nowhere. I feel like if it's this, if equivalently, you know, she had a mind chip and like, I don't know, Sam Wilson pulls up or Bucky pulls up and you're just like, oh, he's just kind of in this movie. Like, where did he come from? You know what I mean? Like, where's the connection? How did Jean find him? You know what I mean? So I do agree he should have been out of the trailer so that I think when Peter goes to the university and, you know, and we see Bruce, then that would have been the first time in the movie, like, oh snap, Bruce is in this movie and he has this inhibitor on his arm and Peter's asking about it. Oh, that's kind of cool. Just a little cameo. And then next we're like, oh no, Hulk is in this movie. Not Bruce. Bruce is in the movie, but Hulk is in this movie. Like, because if we just saw him at the university at first and we're like, okay, that's the only time he goes, he asks him, it's just a little Easter egg. You know who this guy is, whatever. We're not going to see Hulk in this movie. And then it happens and you're like, oh no, we are seeing Hulk in this movie. So I do like that it was in there, but I agree with you on the trailer. Should have been out of the trailer.
Yeah. You know what the funny thing is? And I was talking to my sister about this too, where it's kind of funny. You look at every single Spider-Man trailer, not Spider-Man trailer, every Spider-Man poster, and he's never by himself. The first Homecoming trailer, it's him, Vulture, Iron Man. Second one, it's him, Mysterio, Nick Fury. Third one, it's him, Doctor Strange, Dr. Ock. This one, it's him, Punisher, Hulk. It's like they can never just have him be himself in a movie. He's always got to get help from somebody else. There's always got to be someone else helping him. I don't understand why they feel a need to do that. Because my whole thing, and this goes back to the trailer things, or I guess how they write these Spider-Man stories, the idea that they think, like, people will be like, oh, butts and seats, the idea that someone will be like, you know what, I wasn't going to go see that Spider-Man movie, but because the Punisher is in this movie, I'm going to go see this movie. Or the fact that the Hulk is in this movie, now I'll go see Spider-Man, is the most ridiculous thing to me. That's not getting extra butts and seats. No way someone is now going to watch the fourth Spider-Man because, okay, Hulk and Punisher in this movie. I got to go see this movie.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that mindset.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. Like, he's if anything, it's the opposite. If there's a Punisher movie, you probably don't have a lot of buzz. Like, oh, Spider-Man's in this movie? I like like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's not the case with Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man. I will say though, like, Punisher's involvement, like I said, I like both their involvements in the story.
Same.
So Punisher's involvement, I think, was really good too. Like, in that fight, I mean, he was okay. You know, he comes in just shooting
at Hulk.
Exactly. But I will say, when Hulk jumps at him and Peter like shoots a web at his foot and pulls him underneath him, in slow motion as he's shooting him, I was just like, oh, that's pretty sick. And then
that's tough.
And then Punisher is like, no, I'm gonna go find Jean Grey. You take care of the Hulk. It's like, how are you possibly gonna beat Jean Grey right now? Like, Spider-Man's the only one that she could stay out of his mind. How is he? But at the same time, how are you gonna defeat Hulk? You can't do that either.
Yeah,
so I mean,
know.
you're just here for vibes, I guess.
No,
MJ
100%.
just sent him to his death, basically. Spider-Man, you're gonna go fight Hulk and a mind controlling villain. Frank, you have guns, go help him.
Yeah, exactly. Which by no means am I saying I didn't like Punisher. I liked Punisher in the movie. I actually think he was a nice addition. Same thing with the Hulk. But yeah, I was just speaking more to just the promotion, all that stuff. But no, him coming in was fun, and like that whole scene was great. There's a couple of things too, just like we're talking about fighting scenes, we're talking about the Hulk. I really liked the well, I guess this isn't fighting element, but just kind of just like the visual components of the immersive feeling we get when he was swinging throughout the movie. Like, just kind of seeing him just like run, doing like flips, and like we even got a couple POV shots of him. Like, you kind of got like, you got the close shot of his eye. All that stuff was like stuff we never really seen before, and I thought was really cool. And we actually saw him swinging through the city. Like, when we'd see him start from a building, swing here, and then he actually got to the crime scene. It wasn't like a kind of like a transitional one swing and then he's there, or like he's sitting on a car And like, which he did do that, but like, there's a lot of times where he's just kind of coasting. But like, we actually got to see him look like he's just having fun, and that's what Spider-Man would do: just have fun, jump off a building, grab a pizza, be like, "Hey, what's up, dudes?" and then swing across. Like that kind of fun stuff was cool to see in this, which I feel like we haven't gotten in a bit.
I totally agree. I think the web swinging at the start was awesome. Like to me, what I wrote, I was like, it felt like we were flying through the city.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how they filmed it necessarily. If they I think at the original Spider-Mans, the Tobey ones, I think they literally hooked a camera up to like a big swing and they just like literally just let it go and like swing through buildings. But anyways, I think, I love that stuff. I just think it puts us, it just like, imagine if that was you. Imagine if you were Spider-Man and you could just like swing through buildings and do all this fun stuff. I will say, I think the Amazing Spider-Man still has the best web swinging. Like Andrew, like he's flipping through and he like, there's one where he's going right into a skyscraper and then he goes into like a plank and like swings right through it and like, and then he jumps up and he looks down and like I think that web swinging is the best, but this was definitely a step up from any of the Tom Holland ones that we ever had. But there was one question I had too, like at the start when he's looking at his phone and like Ned's doing these vlogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the Spider-Man suit and he doesn't have a backpack or nothing. And then we see him swinging. I'm like, where does he put his phone?
That's a very
where does his phone go?
Yeah, that is a very good point. I don't know. He's just like putting it in the chest part and then just
you would see it.
Yeah, no, that is true. No, you're making a good point. They didn't think about that. That's just, it's like one of those fucking cartoon things. You put it behind his back. It's GTA. Where did the gun come from? It just came from his back. He puts it back there. It just disappears. Who knows? It's a good point, though. I didn't even think about that.
It's just a tiny thing, but good point on the web swing. That stuff was cool.
Yeah, and I want to even jump back to the fight thing. There's the one specific fight. Well, there's two fights I want to talk about, but the fight with the damage control, when he finds out the truth about Jean and she's that she's trying to save her sister, and it felt like a video game when he was fighting the security like outside, he's doing the little stretch thing, and he's like, "You guys stretch, you should stretch," and then he's doing the leaps. It felt so much like a video game. Him like doing the acrobatics and stuff like that, which is, again, I feel like that was another element that we didn't get as much from the other movies. This really did feel, again, living up to the title Brand New Day. I will say though, for the most part in his fights, he's saving people. You know what I mean? Like he'll web them to the wall, make sure like, okay, I kicked that dude, let me web him to that wall so he doesn't fall. There's one dude that he fights that he is either paralyzed or he's dead. And it's just the timing of when he did it. He kicked one dude, webbed him to the fence. He kicked another dude, webbed him to the side. This other dude, he webbed him to the face, pulled him forward, kicked him in the back of the head, and he went head first, legs up. I'm like, why didn't you try to save that guy? That dude's dead or paralyzed. There's no, it's one or the other. No in between.
Hey, man. That fight was cool though, dude. Like he was just performing combos, like, because I mean, you see a fight with like just masked goons, and it's not gonna be like, if he's fighting the Hulk, he's gonna take some punches. If he's fighting Scorpion, he's gonna take some. He's not gonna get any punches against these guys. No. He's just gonna make easy work of them. You could almost just skip past this in most movies.
Yeah,
like we know Spider-Man's gonna beat these guys, but let's have some fun with it. And so like all the fun stuff that he's doing was really, really great. Damn, that's a great point though. You freaking nuked that guy.
And the stuff with the hand fight was awesome. Amazing. Too. Like them, dude. He even nodded to it too. Like them, he's like, "Damn, that's cool." And I'm like, "It is." Them jumping off of each other and stuff like that. I'm like, bro. This is like some b-boy shit, man. Like they're fucking. It's an organized dance. It's so awesome watching them fight. I didn't know if we were gonna get that because I thought all we were gonna get for them was kind of like the trailer stuff. I thought it was just like kind of the quick fight that we got when he was doing like his montage thing. I didn't know if he was actually gonna get like a full fight with them that we were gonna see. I'm glad we did because that stuff was freaking cool as shit.
Yeah, that stuff was really awesome. You're right. The way they're, I think my favorite one was probably he jumps, like Spider-Man jumps up like to like the second story, and then one of them, like, it's like climbing stairs. One of the members of the hand, like, they jump up and then she jumps off of the back, and then another guy jumps up, and like that stuff was just so freaking cool. And then when he kind of like slows down and stops for a while, he's talking to Jean, and then he takes off the inhibitor, and he's like, okay, no, I'm gonna embrace this. Like, no, because early on, when he talked to Banner for the first time, he's like, can I suppress the bad and like keep the good? And he asked the question, he's like, well, how do you decide what's good and what's bad? Maybe you need that kind of stuff. So he kind of like learns that lesson, and he just lets go. And then he looks up and his eyes are fully blacked out, and we're like, and his web shooters, they both break. So he's like, okay, I got to now at this point. Freaking awesome. And then the ninja stars come, and he's just like overloaded on his Spidey sense, and he just kind of looks to the side and watches it go by his face, dodges all the ninja stars, jumps up, puts his wrists together, and just like spins them all into this giant web, kicks the one dude that's about to get stabbed in the back. Nope, saves him. So
that was
sick.
tough. Yeah, that was tough. Are you Spidey or you're Peter Parker? Both. Bang, just breaks this. I'm like, oh, that's tough. That's tough as hell.
Exactly. I'm not trying to suppress the overarching spider gene anymore. I've embraced it, and now Peter and Spider-Man are one. Yeah, so good, dude.
So tough. I don't know. Did you have any other specific points that you wanted or moments you wanted?
Absolutely. A small one is the fight with Scorpion that we get when Jean's controlling Scorpion, and that's when he like goes, I don't know, natural spider, I guess, for the first time, and he kind of like overdoes it, right? When that happens, I was like, oh, this is a little wrinkle that, like, the whole genetic thing, I knew that was going to be a struggle, but I didn't know exactly how that was going to work. Yeah. So the fact that it's like, oh no, he kind of blacks out and just kind of goes on a rampage a little bit. So like he hurts that cop, almost kills that cop. I was like, oh, okay, now there's consequences to this. The cops are no longer like, hey, we can't just be buddy anymore. You got to chill out with that. Yeah. But my favorite part of that fight was Scorpion when he stabs his tail in the ground. Yeah. And then he like pulls his body around to kick Spider-Man. Cause most of the time he's kind of like standing there and he's like sticking his tail out to try and like grab him or stab him. Like, it's kind of whatever. Yeah. But then he uses it to stick in the ground and then fling himself around to kick Spider-Man. Yeah. That was cool.
No, that was tough. It was interesting because like I didn't know how much love Scorpion was going to get in this movie because he's one of Spider-Man's big villains. I don't think he was like an afterthought. I'm glad they had him to keep coming back around, at least having his moments. Because I'm just speaking for myself from like someone that like when I watched the animated series, I don't know why specifically the biggest villains that I think of as Spider-Man, I think of Scorpion. Maybe it's just the episodes I saw because I was as a kid, you just watch whatever the hell is on. It was him, Mysterio, and Rhino. The Green Goblin I actually didn't even see that much in the cartoon, to be honest. It wasn't until like the Toby stuff where I even thought like, oh, this is kind of a cool villain. I think obviously Willem Dafoe's portrayal of it made it like even cooler. But I thought that was a really cool moment. Even just like them doing the what's it called, the comic shot where he hits him, like the freeze frame. That was just like a cool thing, like his little Easter egg thing.
Yeah, those were just like eye candy for like, okay, for all you purists, this is for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you're coming in here and you just want to watch a fun Spider-Man movie, there's lots of stuff that you're going to like. And that this probably means nothing to you, these like freeze frames or whatever. But if you're a comic purist, like, here you go. This is just for you.
Yeah. I also kind of find it funny too, because Spider-Man's the only hero, at least that I can think of, that has to wear an additional attire over his suit when it's wintertime. Everyone else, if it's like a winter scene, they're just in their regular stuff. But Spider-Man, even go look back at the like Andrew's one, he has a winter fit too, where he has to I have to put like a beanie on something, which it's just kind of funny. It makes sense, but it's also kind of ridiculous because no other hero has to do it.
Spider-Man is just or all the other heroes, I guess, are just immune to cold.
I guess so. That's what he should have talked about Bruce about. He's like, yo, what did Captain America do with his suit? Why he doesn't have to wear toques and stuff like that? I've seen him in winter. I don't know why he's the only one.
Captain America, he's huge for one. Actually, Tom Holland looked huge in this movie.
Oh yeah, he did.
Because like Spider-Man, I kind of like
the scene with the Black Widow.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Just her whole like potatoes bit.
That
was a little
shit
funny.
was funny to me too. That's the one thing you guys kept a secret. You could put that in the trailer.
Yo, that's so true. I didn't even think of that. The one thing that's a secret is the freaking Yelena in a bathtub, but the freaking Hulk and Punisher that goes in the trailer. Maybe that's why they're like, this isn't gonna. Well, you could have like just seeing her like sitting in a tub, like talking to Spider-Man. I was like, oh, what's going on? It doesn't end up being a massive part of the movie, but like in a trailer, you don't know that. So
that's what I'm saying.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Weird, picky and choosy things where it's like, this is something you could give away. It's like, oh, cool, Black Widow's going to be in here. And it's like, whatever. You know what I mean? Just like, again, I don't think that's selling tickets. I always forget too, because my sister, she watches these movies sparingly. So when she saw Florence Pugh in here, she was thinking, like, what? Wait, Florence Pugh's in these movies? I'm like, oh yeah, you don't know, she's Black Widow. She's just thinking like, oh, this is a girl from like Midsummer and like all these other movies. She's like, wait, she's in this world? I'm like, oh yeah, you'd never seen Black Widow and freaking Hawkeye and all this other shit. And Thunderbolts.
Yeah, but that is a good point that I did not think of. But the Ned and MJ, like that whole side of the story, I really liked it. I just love the dynamic of these characters. I think that like Tom and Zendaya and Jacob, I think his name is the actor that plays
I think
Ned.
You're right, yeah.
They just have such great chemistry. They seem like people you just want to hang out with, and they're just so chill with each other. Like Spider-Man, as I know, is usually a loner. So like this is a change that they made kind of to this version of Spider-Man, that he has some friends, and I just love it. I just love like we say, when he's in the suit, like he's this confident and quippy and funny guy, but we get to see him do it a little bit as Peter too, like in the earlier movies. Now he's still doing it as Spider-Man because they don't know that he's Peter. But I love seeing them interacting with each other, and it's just heartbreaking when you see him show up to the party and he sees MJ with her new boyfriend, and he's talking to Ned, and Ned's like, "Oh no, I'm not creepy. I just want to see I just want to meet Spider-Man, so I can say thank you and all this stuff." And Tom or Peter just has to sit there, and he can't say anything. And he's like, "You're my best friend, and that's my girl, but like I can't be with you." And then when Jean tricks him as MJ,
oh my gosh, yeah,
dude, like it's just so heartbreaking. Like we've gone through 3 movies of these people building the relationship up from the jump. We want them to be together, man.
Yeah.
And she's, and we like, oh, he did it. Like somehow she remembered, and half of me was kind of like, this is cheap. Like, how would she remember? That doesn't really make sense. I kind of don't like that it's just like she remembers. And then but at the same time, when she doesn't, I was like, oh no, that's devastating. It was just a roller coaster of emotions, dude.
Yeah. I think the one thing that was like, I wish they took out, because it left that small amount of doubt for me, where like you were thinking, I was that same too. I was like, this doesn't make sense though. Like, cause then if her and Ned just do remember like that, then you kind of like discredit what Doctor Strange did.
Yeah.
It's like all it takes is him just like kind of saying things like, oh yeah, all my memories just came back. It's like, wait, what? No. Cause then the stakes, you go back and watch the stakes of the third movie and you'll be like, they're just going to remember the next movie. Like, it's like,
exactly.
It just ruins it if you do like that. Like, no, like, actually have it be like they don't remember. Like, don't make it some weird thing where like they read a note, they see a picture, and then suddenly all their memories come back. And it's like, hey, Doctor Strange, you ain't shit. You don't, when you say you do something, it doesn't actually work then. But the one thing that I wish that I think could have worked better for that flip of like when it's just like, yeah, hug her. And you're like, oh shit, that's Jean. If they didn't have that whole conversation where it's like, I'm going to go find her. Because you're like, in your head, you're like, well, we know that, like, if she just did that and it was just in MJ, and then you got that flip, it would have been more, because literally
shocking.
10 minutes before that, you knew that Jean was going to go find Zendaya. So in your mind, I'm like, you're kind of like, wait, is this actually happening, or is this Jean? There was like a small part of it. I wasn't like, that's for sure Jean, but I was like, literally 10 minutes ago, there was a whole chase thing about like, I'm going to go find her and there's nothing you can do about it. So if they didn't have that, then it would have been more, I think it would have been built that up more.
That is a good point. But at the same time, I did like the scene where like the black guy on the street was just like, "Hey, Peter, you still can't figure out that it's me." You know what I mean? And then, oh, I'm in your apartment. You know, I know where you are. And he's like, "No, you're bluffing." Oh, well, I didn't find anything, but I did find something in a coffee cup.
Yeah,
like that whole thing. I was just like,
no, I did like
it's
that.
just build up. You're like, oh snap, now she knows. But you're right. It kind of does eliminate the shock when it's MJ. I will admit it didn't eliminate it for me. I didn't see it coming. I should have, but I didn't.
It's funny because my sister, even she was kind of like, she's like, I don't know. Okay, so like, I think that part, because I'm that's why I say, because I'm thinking for my sister. My sister's not like in this world that much. So like, even her being like, okay, well, we just did see her say that she's going after MJ. So like, I think that might not actually be MJ. Where I'm like, yeah, no, that does make sense. I do see how that point, that scene makes you realize like, well, I don't think that character's gonna be stuck in a helicopter for the rest of the movie. Now they're gonna get out at some point and then make their way. It is kind of weird too now in retrospect. Now knowing that that's Jean doing all that stuff, I'm like, it's weird imagining just Jean talking, like I saying all those things that she was saying, like, "Oh, you're really simple, Spider." Oh, like I see what you like her. Like it's kind of weird, just like if you just like put her in those positions saying all those things, seems kind of weird.
It also is kind of weird when you think about like she's strong enough to block out a kilometer radius, but she has a mind jump capacity of 33 feet.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like that
and where was she on the roof? Was she like when?
I don't think she. No, she was in. I don't. No, she was in the car. Remember, she was in.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So
you're right.
But she obviously at some point jumped into her. We didn't see it because you could do this whole chain thing, right? You jump into that person and then that person. And we didn't see that chain happen. So was she controlling MJ from the jump when she was in her apartment when Peter scooped her up? Or was it at some point when he was like swinging her to the rooftop? Like, I don't know.
And you know what the funny thing is about this too, which is like, it's not even like nitpicking. It's just kind of like a funny thing where it's like every time she jumps into someone, right? You can tell it's her, right? It's like, it's kind of like the way she's talking or whatever it is. I guess you don't know those people, but like when she's like in Punisher, for example, when she like turns over like, oh, good luck with that. You kind of could tell it kind of feels like a girl saying it.
Yeah.
When she's MJ, it just feels like MJ. Her cadence, the way she was talking, I'm like, MJ, how she talks, all her cadences. I'm like, how can you sell this? And then when she flips and be like, yeah, hug her. I'm like, yeah, that seems like how she would talk. Right. Because she doesn't know that's the actual person.
Well, but when you jump in the mind, like she sees all your memories, right? Like when she gets into Frank, she's like, "Oh wow, this dude's messed up." So I think she just in that case, like she's not trying to hide it, so she doesn't care. So she'll just like pretend. She'll just talk as if she were herself. But at that point, like she's hiding it from Peter. So she as soon as she jumps into MJ's mind, she knows her whole mannerisms and cadence and everything, so she can fake it.
That is true. No, that's a good point. But no, that was a great scene. Like I wasn't 100% like that's not her. Like pointing at the screen or anything. I was kind of just like, And I was hoping too. And I was hoping because, like you said, I was like, I'd be so cheap. It's just like, oh yeah, I remember now. It just makes sense. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I want it to be. I want her to remember, but not like that. Like,
but at the same time, if she doesn't have those memories, then when Jean jumps into her brain, how does she have those memories? How does she know that like, oh, who are we? Like, were we more than friends? You know, like,
yeah.
She hugs him like, you know how long you wanted to hug? Oh, I guess she saw the note though. Oh, right. Yeah, she saw the note.
Yeah, she did see the note.
Never mind.
Yeah, you're right. She did see the note.
She saw the note. That's how.
But
and then I guess, well, yeah, more on MJ is like when they get to Frank's hideout, right? And Peter's working on the inhibitor and she's like in the bed and they're kind of talking about her boyfriend and all this stuff. Like, to me, I thought they were like rebuilding this relationship. Like, I thought they were kind of like starting to come together. So that's why it's so heartbreaking when she finds out about the note.
Yeah.
And then they have this conversation, and he's like, yeah, like, I didn't want you to read this, but now you know this is all legit. I love you, all this stuff. And she's like, whatever happened, it worked. I don't love you. Oh
Yeah.
my God, bro. Because like, I get it from the story perspective, and I like that it's in there. When I
Yeah.
think about it from like an emotional toll, you want the like we go to movies to be pulled emotionally,
Yeah.
and this absolutely does it. But at the same time, you're rooting for these characters, so you want to see them end up together. So it's heartbreaking to see it happen. But I think for the movie, it's such a good choice for her to be like, no, I don't love you. I don't even know who you are. Right.
Yeah.
But like, we've seen their whole relationship from the jump. So we want them to be together. We know that they work together and they love each other. But she's like, nah, dude, it's not happening. Just, oh my God, rip my heart out.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a tough one. That was one of those scenes in the theater where like you can hear a pin drop, like it's because like the
Yeah.
energy of it, like when he
Yeah.
comes into the room, he's like, "Yo, she's locked up. You're safe now," and she's just like, "I found this note," and everyone's just like, "Oh,
Yep. There's no music playing. It's just dead quiet. Yeah.
It's like, where do we go from here? I do think like MJ is like her positioning in that scene is kind of strange too, because she's just like she almost like seems up upset with them. Like, how dare you not tell me this? It's like, can we like I understand we live in an Avengers world, but like at the end of the day, I'm supposed to explain to you that your memory is gone. Like, what does that even like mean?
Yeah.
It's like I deserve to know this, but like you deserve to know what though? I'm gonna tell you some stuff you're not gonna remember anyway. So like it was kind of weird how she was kind of like a little jaded on that. I'm like, what are you upset about?
Yeah, that is a good point. And just shout out to Zendaya, man. She was so freaking awesome in this movie. Like I said, this because in the scene where Jean Grey is controlling her, that's still obviously Zendaya acting, right?
Yeah.
So like she has to, be like, oh no, I remember you and I love you and blah blah blah. And then just that flip. You know what I mean? Oh, and it's just so good. And then in this scene, same thing. It just also because we know Zendaya and Tom are together.
Yeah.
In real life.
No, for sure.
So like in this scene, like where she has to be like, I don't know who you are, I don't love you. Like that's I mean, she's an actress, right? Like this is what the job is. Like you would be doing this to someone you don't know, but you don't actually love in scenes that you are loving someone.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just thought she was freaking amazing.
Yeah, she's like tapping the time he didn't wash the dishes or something. All those chores he didn't do. He's like, yeah, exactly. I don't love you.
I don't even know you.
It is interesting though too, because like at this point in the journey, like especially when like they're having the conversation where he was trying to fix the inhibitor, why it wasn't working, that dynamic felt so playful and just like felt like I felt like I'm listening to Tom and fucking Zendaya just kind of just like be cute with each other, whatever it is. Which I honestly feel like this is like ironically, when she doesn't remember him, this is some of the best moments of them having like a dynamic, because throughout the most of the movies, she's kind of just like that character that's always kind of like shitting on him. Yeah. Pretend she doesn't like him in the first movie. Like they don't really have much anything. In the second movie, she's like, oh, still kind of like, oh, you're goofy, whatever it is. Third movie, then you get that, and then it goes away. But this is the first time you kind of get that coupley kind of dynamic.
Yeah. That's a really good point. And I think, but it makes sense. Like if you think about, when you're in high school, if you have a crush on someone, you're just kind of awkward around them, right? You like, oh, you make fun of them a little bit, you just kind of, you're a little standoff. That was also her character so much early on in these movies. She was really standoffish and kind of like to herself. Now they're much older, more mature. So you can kind of like, if you like someone, you can just be a little more normal with them because you're not maybe in your own head as much as you are when you're in high school. So it totally makes sense. And she doesn't love him. So why would she be awkward with him, right? She would be just totally friendly with him because this is just some guy.
Yeah, no, 100%. I almost thought they were gonna ship her, Tom and Peter and Jean for a second. For a split second, when he's like, "You don't have it," he was like, "You have me," and I was like,
"Just make out, just start making out."
Not even just that, but just like a little bit. I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe this could be a thing." In the comic books, I remember like Rogue was kind of feeling a lot of people, but she was feeling Spider-Man in those. So I was like, "Is Jean ever good?" Jean was always a Cyclops girl, so she's just waiting for Cyclops. That's real. She's not gonna do anything with Spider-Man, but I'm interested to see where they go. Like I don't know if I've said it on this podcast, but like I as far as Marvel goes, Spider-Man and X-Men has always been my thing. Like it always starting from the comics, and then when we got I shouldn't say the comics, the cartoon, because I wasn't like much of a comic. The animated series, loved those, and then when we got those 2000s movies, loved those. So that was kind of like really my big introduction to this world. So the fact that got a tease of kind of like the X-Men are making their way in here in a Spider-Man movie, I was like, I'm really excited to see what they do going forward for both characters. This is kind of like a mini a Jean Grey movie, origin movie too.
Yeah.
Like an X-Men origin almost kind of. This is the first stepping stone to see where they go forward from that. I don't know if well, we do get some of that in Doomsday, but it's not going to be I don't even know if we're going to see an older Jean in the new one.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean,
there's so Cyclops and obviously Professor X, but I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like I think they're kind of doing. Doomsday will kind of be like the send off of that era of X-Men. They'll probably all just get smoked. Doomsday will come in and just wipe them all.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for like a younger version of these characters? Is it a different Earth? Like there's the whole multiverse, right? So like,
yeah,
honestly, that whole thing kind of confuses me. So I really don't, I don't know how that makes any sense, but
that's why I'm excited about this world. Like it's been a while since like, there's been a lot of misses, obviously, just with Marvel in general. At least me speaking for me, maybe some people have been like, "What's going on?" I don't want to speak for for everybody, but there's been a lot of new characters that I'm just like, I don't really care. I may have even given someone like a one episode, and I was like, I'm not really invested in this character. Like, I'm not opposed to new people coming in, but like, is their origin different than anybody else's, or is it kind of similar? Are their struggles kind of similar? Like, okay, I need something new, but. I mean, Jean's not necessarily new, but this is a new take for me where I was even saying, it's like, oh, this is kind of used to seeing an older Jean. Like in the X-Men movie, they were all kind of grown at that point. They weren't like, this is kind of like an early 20s portrayal. You don't really see Jean in like those, like when they do a First Class and like now we're back in the 90s. You don't see Jean until like the third movie. She doesn't come in for a while. So this is interesting to see. I like Sadie Sink's like version of this character, and we got to see her origin, what happened with her and her sister. So I'm just interested to see like where we go from here. Are we gonna lead with her because she's the first X-Men we've seen? Usually we lead with Wolverine, maybe like a Cyclops, but like, are we gonna be like following her and everyone else is gonna come around her? Like, I'm interested to see where they go.
I think so because I just don't think we're ready to see another Wolverine yet. Like Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, and we're not ready to let. Like he was in a movie just 2 years ago. The Deadpool Wolverine.
You know, you're right.
We're not ready for another one. Like
probably not.
Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. Like we asked the question earlier in the episode about like who's your Spider-Man. Hugh Jackman is everyone's Wolverine.
There is no other one.
Exactly. That's
besides
what I mean. Like,
animated series voices, but nobody even.
Yeah. So like Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, and I just don't think we're ready to let that go yet to get a new. We will at some point, but I don't think we're ready yet.
No, there's literally just been two, and we talked about this. It's Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. There's been no one else to portray these guys in live action. Yeah, it'll be hard to do otherwise.
What'd you think of like the handshake at the end with Ned? Because that kind of goes back on what we were saying, like the whole, oh wait, like this, they're not supposed to remember. It's kind of cheap that you undid it. So
yeah,
like what do you think?
I thought it was a fun moment because like we've seen them do this handshake so many times throughout the movies, and it was a nice thing. Just as like someone that's just like watching as a fan, I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like I like to see him have a moment. And he even him saying like Peter, like I didn't even take that as him being like he remembered him. I took it as in like literally earlier MJ said, "Be careful, Peter."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, Spider-Man's name is Peter." So then I figured he was like, "Oh, you're Peter, like you're Spider-Man." The handshake thing, like I was like, I don't know how that makes sense. Like he remembers everything from a handshake. Like I don't know. Maybe we'll get more of that in the next movie. I don't want to put too much on that where I'm like, now Ned remembers everything. Maybe he doesn't. So I'm not going to hold them on that.
I agree. I don't think that Ned knows everything. I think you're right. Like the whole Peter thing, like, wait, Peter, like Spider-Man, like you're Spider. Yeah. So I think that's how like he'll know that Peter's Spider-Man, but I don't think now he has all of his memories. But the handshake thing,
Yeah.
like,
So people were saying like, oh, muscle memory. I'm like, it doesn't work like that though. Like,
yeah.
it's like if someone taught me how to ride a bike and then we're gonna erase the memory of you riding the bike, that muscle memory doesn't stick. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, you just muscle memory, like it's the muscle memory of doing it all those years. I was like, yeah, but that got erased. So there's no muscle memory. That's literally.
So what's the answer then? So what is it? Like, does he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That'll have to get answered.
Doctor Strange, we'd like to have a word on your spell, bro. It's not.
Yeah, maybe Peter said like, leave Ned one thing. Just leave him the handshake, or maybe Ned. Because maybe the way, because Spider-Man, like they just erased Peter Parker from existence, but Ned still will have gone through all those same experiences, right? So because remember, he even alludes to, he's like, Spider-Man saved us in Washington and he saved us on our clap trip. Like all this stuff still happened. So in his brain, he still had a friend that he had this handshake with. He just doesn't remember who it was.
Yeah, that's the weird thing where like it's very vague in that sense. Because even think about it like this, they still got saved by Spider-Man in all those times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all the moments when they had with Spider-Man, like if Tom was or Peter was in the mask, do they still remember those? They remember the moments when he saved them. So like if Peter ever gave him a handshake as Spider-Man, he just forgets that it's Spider-Man. He forgets that it's Peter, but he remembers doing that handshake. Like that is it's really confusing if you try to get into it.
That'll have to get answered.
It will get explained later.
We'll see what happens.
He will return as like, I don't know if you want to talk about the end credit.
Yeah, we could talk about the end credit, and then I just want to talk about the ending a little bit. But
we can get to the ending first. Ending and then end credit. Let's go in order.
Okay, sure. So I love the ending. I think this is what I was talking about in the general thoughts, where I was like, it made me feel like I was a kid again for a little bit, like seeing Spider-Man from a childish lens when after he gets shot. And we see the whole city embracing him, like the people have signs and they all show up to the hospital, all this stuff. I love it because we got the whole montage at the start of him cleaning up the city. He sees on the news, because of Spider-Man, crime rates are way down and all this stuff. So everybody just loves this guy and he's working with the cops and everything. So seeing the whole city come out, they're lighting up buildings, all this stuff, loved it. And then he walks out of the hospital, and because Frank has the suit on, which was kind of funny, just even when they cut to inside the room and it's just Jon Bernthal, like, doing the Jon Bernthal thing, but like as Spider-Man, that was kind of funny. So Peter gets to just like sit in the middle of this crowd as they're chanting Spider-Man, and he just gets to like look around and soak it all in, like all these people that love him. And then we see the kid on his dad's shoulders. And he looks over and shoots a web at him. Yeah. And he shoots it back. And I'm just like, dude, this is just like, I was that kid. We all were that kid, right? Yeah. We were just seeing Spider-Man. We're like, he's funny. He's saving the day. He's a good guy. Spider-Man's great. If we ever saw him, we'd be like, yeah, Spider-Man. And this kid gets to do it. And Peter is right there and is just, man. It just brought me right back to when I was a kid. Just that one shot of the kid and like Peter exchanging like web shots. I freaking loved it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And it kind of goes to a conversation I was having with Eloise, shout out the producer. I was saying that like I was talking about, I was like, it's not even close at this point. Like Spider-Man, like he is the top of the top. I was like at a different time and period, it was Superman. It was Batman, like in the 80s and stuff, like, because those were the things popping. Once Spider-Man entered the scene, and it's because of who he is. It's because he's a high school kid. He's just way more relatable. Like, it was just cool. It's like, oh, Superman is fun, but he's an alien. Batman, he's a billionaire. But Spider-Man, he's a kid. And that's why even, like, I didn't think about this later. I wish I mentioned it when we had the boys on, Sam and Josh. When we were kind of talking about, like, oh, the Peter aspect and, like, him, like, his struggle it's tough to go back to him doing like the struggle of like a high school kid. I'm like, but you have to keep doing it. And my reference point is my sisters, because I watched that with them when they were in elementary school and high school. And it may seem kind of like small, but to see Peter Parker every time you want to reflip and have him struggle with talking to the girl, you have to do it. Because at the end of this day, he is the superhero for the kids. And when every time a new generation of kids watches him, their biggest thing in the world is talking to that person that they like. And there's fact that their superhero has that same struggle is like, yeah, that's my guy. He's just like me. He's awkward. He's struggling to talk to the girl. I don't know if he can do it. But then when he puts on the mask, then he's the cool guy. The suit looks cool. It's like he's always gonna be for the kids. That no other superhero at this point can do that, because as cool as Batman and Superman and Iron Man and all these guys, they're adults. They're adults. They're billionaires. They're aliens. This dude is sure he's a mutant, but he's a kid.
Yeah. He's a
And
kid
it's
that
always
got bit
gonna
by a spider, and that didn't change who he was. It just changed what he could do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I really like that. That ending was really nice. I will say though, Frank didn't have to do that.
No.
Nobody knows who Peter is. He
Yeah.
could have just walked out. So it's like, don't worry, I got a plan for when you're going to walk out, so nobody will know it's you. They don't know it's you. So
except the staff, maybe. I assume.
See,
did they keep the mask on, but they just took his body suit off?
Well, he woke up and he was not in the suit.
That's what I'm saying.
So somebody took that. Like, for sure, the doctors would have had to like unmask him. So like, you know what I thought actually was going to happen when I saw him wake up in the hospital with no suit on? I thought we were kind of get a Toby type moment. Like, remember in Spider-Man 2 when he saves the train full of people and his mask falls off, and then he stands up and everyone in the train like surrounds him, gives him his mask back, and they're like, don't worry, we're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was going to be kind of something like that, where like the doctors would come in or something. They'd be like, don't worry, we're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Like, we respect you as Spider-Man. You've done so much for the city. Like, don't worry, we got you.
Yeah, but no one, everyone is acting like, it's another day. We saved a lot of superheroes. Here's another day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Actually,
there's crowds of people outside all the time.
Do you think anyone was going to die in this movie? We talked about that speculation, like as the movie was happening. Did you feel that fear? Were you like, are they really going to kill off Superman? Are they really going to kill MJ? Like, did you feel those moments?
I didn't think they were going to kill MJ. No, at no point did I think she was going to die. But when Spider-Man gets shot, there's a lot of blood pouring out of him at the end. And this is right when he reconciles with Jean and she's holding him. And then we see him in the hospital, and like there's like the whole everything's really somber, you know, like the whole we see the city like I said, kind of lighting up and putting out signs and all this stuff. And just with the fact that, like we talked about, like we haven't seen him in any trailer for Doomsday. His name wasn't in that chair reveal. Yeah. Like he's not linked to Doomsday so far as I know. So I was like, shoot. Yeah. Maybe they could. I didn't think so because, like, he's still so popular as Spider-Man. They're obviously never going to stop making these movies because they make so much money. So I was even just thinking from like a real world business perspective, why would you do this? Maybe you'd find some way to bring him back, but I didn't think so. But I did have a little bit of fear. I was like, it's not impossible.
They got me. Yeah, they got me too. I was like, maybe they could possibly do it. And we're in new territory. You know what I mean? Like, we've never had someone do 4 Spider-Man movies. So like, you never know. You never know what could happen. So I shouldn't even say Thor did it, I guess, but that's not something to hang your hat on. Have 4 movies.
Oh.
Yeah, so did Captain America too, but they also changed the Captain Americas. So I was gonna say, just for a superhero to get 4 stretches of movies with the same guy, Thor did that, but
like solo movies,
there's not a lot of great Thors in there, so
no,
you don't really hang your hat on that.
2 of them are complete butt cheeks, and one of them is like not great.
Yeah, exactly. And so you don't want to hang your hat on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spider-Man, it's new territory for the Spider-Man and just for heroes in general, but. True. Yeah, I don't know if you have and then on the end
post credit scene. That's the only thing. So I mean, my first thought was like, he's in space. That doesn't make sense. I feel like that doesn't make sense. So I thought about it a little bit, and my theory, I guess, which is, again, I'm not a comic book purist, so maybe I'm way wrong on this, but it's like it's the symbiote, like the Venom symbiote, like on a asteroid or something on its way to Earth or something, like because we know it's alien, right? So it's on maybe a different planet or something, and it's like it wasn't moving towards Earth in the thing. It was just kind of like flashing on
Yeah.
the screen, but like I maybe symbiote related. That was my guess.
Yeah. I that's one of the things too. I completely forgot about that. I was saying all the other villains. That is definitely a villain that when I was a kid, I was like, oh, Venom. That's one of
Yeah.
Spider-Man's biggest. They made 3 whole movies. They've made 4 Spider-Mans, and these guys have never had a face to face. I think there was like an end credit scene. I think I didn't in Carnage, like apparently or something like that, like a quick scene. But
Well, in
it's
Spider-Man
almost
3,
a trap, huh?
Spider-Man 3, Venom.
No, but I mean the 2 of them. I'm saying the 2 of them
Oh.
haven't had a moment, which which is strange to me. I mean, they're not in the same city. Well, I think Venom's in like San Fran or something, right? He's in San Francisco.
Well,
it's not in the
yeah. But what was Spider-Man 3? No? What are you talking about?
the what?
There's Venom and Spider-Man.
Isn't he? No. I'm talking about Tom.
Oh,
Tom's. I'm talking
like
about.
Tom and Tom Hardy is what you're talking about. Like
yeah,
Tom
the
Holland.
Toms.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair,
the 2
fair.
Toms.
Yeah. Okay.
The 2 Toms. We've never gotten
Yes.
that, which I'm like, I don't know why they've, and it's both Sony too. I don't know why they never done anything around it. They've just allowed them like existed separately, and maybe this is the final link. I don't know if Tom wants to keep being Venom, so maybe they're just gonna cast a new Venom, or they're just done doing Venom stuff. But that was my 2 thoughts. I actually was thinking like maybe it's like a Venom thing, but I was also like Spider-Man in space. I don't know how this makes sense. Hey, they got me. It's a nice, intriguing. It's a small thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does this connect to Doomsday? Which is it's fine. It doesn't have to. We talked about the like. Was this going to connect to Doomsday at all? It didn't. It didn't really do anything. It didn't really do anything, or maybe it does. Maybe we'll realize later on that it actually was
true.
Which is it's fun. We'll see. We got until December to figure out what the heck's going on.
Yeah, don't worry. There'll be lots of talking heads on the internet, people that know way more Marvel than we do, that'll be theorizing what this means.
And we're gonna get some more trailers that we're gonna show every single character that's ever gonna be in the movie in the trailer.
Yeah,
so.
You're right.
But I think that's it. Unless you have any, I don't know if you have anything else. We can. Might be time for the Filmies.
Time
Let's get into it.
Okay, Filmies time. Everybody loves Filmies time. Yeah, there you go. You like that? We should do that every week, maybe.
Yes, sure.
Okay, welcome to our award show. We have 6 awards that we're going to give to different parts of the movie, different people of the movie. And our first one is the fit check, the best or the worst outfit in the movie Spider-Man Brand New Day. Dion, who gets your fit check?
My fit check goes to Peter Parker, and it's pretty simple. It's for the Spider-Man suit.
Okay.
And it's pretty similar to like the original cartoon suit we got. And I didn't really realize it until I think I saw Tom say it's actually kind of like a mismatch of like kind of what Toby's character's suit kind of looked like and to Andrew's character's suit. Like they kind of did like a mix of it. Like the spider on the back is the one that Andrew had, and even just kind of like the classic, just like webbing of design like on the mask, and even the eyes kind of look like Toby's. And I just liked the fact that in the last couple of movies, I didn't mind it because I'm not someone that's like, you know what, new generation, we can evolve, we can do different things. He can have like a CEV and have like an AI thing talking, but it was getting way too much into the Iron Man thing, where like it was just like it almost felt like a metal suit, and he had like these drones, and he had like he had like the monkey thing, he had like kind of like the claws. I was like, this kind of just feels like he's Iron Man at this point. Can we just get kind of like move a little bit back to just a Spider-Man suit? So I'm like, I'm glad that we finally went back to that. And I think it would, for a while too, I got frustrated where he's not even wearing a suit. Like you see the behind the scenes, and he was just wearing like a freaking, I forget what those calls, like one of those tracking suits. And like a lot of the times it was like, I'm sure there was a lot of CGI moments in this, but it felt like they relied too much on it. And people talk about AI slop. I think it was like CGI slop sometimes, where like he was just in this pristine suit with no wrinkles and moving around. Like his head shape was like a perfect circle sometimes in scenes. I'm like, he looks so weird. Like he's standing there all full CGI, and it's not great CGI next to someone that's just like a human standing there. It just looked so jarring. Like I don't care if there's imperfections where you can like see his ears and like when he moves the suit wrinkles. It's a freaking superhero suit. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm glad that I'm glad they went back to that.
Yeah, like this isn't a cartoon. This is a live action. So we're actually seeing someone. Like, what if it was real? There would be wrinkles in the armpits, and like this one when he's swinging through the city, or when he's like floating down like in the air, like the suit's moving and stuff like that. It's great. Good pick. Good pick with the suit. I went with Arthur is his name, and it's the guy in Bruce Banner's class. Dude, it's just the green skin. Like he had I wrote down he had on a leather jacket. It's not even about the leather jacket. It's just the fact that you have Bruce Banner as your teacher and you show up to class in green face. Like is that racist? I don't actually know, but it was just so funny when it showed him on the screen. I was like, oh, there's a guy in green paint. That's funny. And then he even gets a moment to get up and be like, Hulk smash. It was just great. So I just gave him my fit check.
That's a great. As soon as you said Arthur, I knew exactly what you're talking about because that scene was so funny, man. I got a big laugh just when he showed up on screen. Everyone was just like, "Oh shit, that's funny." That guy's dressed up as Hulk. Honestly, there'd probably be even more. To be honest, for being realistic, a lot of people would be dressed up as him if that was your teacher. That would never feel normal.
Yeah, I mean, when they showed up first on screen, I didn't think there was going to be anything else. I thought it was just going to be a guy in the classroom, green, and I was just like, oh, that's just a funny little thing. There's just this guy that dressed up in green, and then when he gets to like stand up and say the thing, I was like, oh, okay, this was a very intentional decision. I mean, it would have been anyways, but like they're like, no, we're gonna do this.
That's a great pick. Great pick.
Thank you. Next award is our Ferris Bueller Lazy Award. Who was the laziest person in Spider-Man?
This connects.
You're already chuckling. I like it.
I'm already chuckling because it's in the same scene. My Ferris goes to Sydney, who was the student in Banner's class, and my Ferris goes to her because if she did her research, she wouldn't have asked such a dumb question of, hey, if Thanos wanted to, what's it called? Was it curious about like, the imbalance? Why didn't he make more food? The answer is simple. Hulk smash.
Which is so funny because like that makes no sense. Like, what does that even
mean?
The only thing that I thought of was like for it to, because Bruce is literally like, Arthur, would you like to say? He says Hulk smash, and then he's like, yeah, perfect. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, so that's your answer. To me, does it just mean like I was Hulk when that happened, so I don't remember, so I don't know? Is that what that means? Or like, does he just not know the answer, so he just says Hulk smash? I don't know.
I have no idea, but that's his way of answering questions he doesn't want to answer, I guess.
I mean, hey, fair enough. Maybe that's just how he answers those questions.
And that's why I was laughing. So you said, "What's your Ferris Bueller?" I'm like, literally, like what we just talked about. I just wanted to say Hulk smash because I couldn't think of anything else.
The entire Filmies will just all take place in this one scene.
Yeah.
No, because my lazy award, I gave to the girl in the elevator at the apartment that says, hey, is that my shirt? So Peter wakes up in the webs, right? Falls into the alleyway and he's got no clothes on. So he crawls into the laundry room and he just grabs some clothes and runs upstairs. And she's mad at him like, hey, is that my shirt? Are those my pants? You left them in a communal laundry room. Like this isn't your laundry room where you could just leave your clothes out, leave them to dry or whatever it is. He crawled in the laundry room, grabbed them like off the top of a dryer or something, and just ran with it. That's on you. You know what I mean? That's on you. That's late. You have your clean clothes, or maybe they're dirty, and you just threw them on top. That's lazy. That you cannot blame him. Like, hey, how'd you get my shirt? You left them in the building's laundry room. That's on you.
100%. And to go further, go with your point too. I was even thinking, I was like, okay, let's assume they're clean. If they're just sitting there, why your clothes they're clean? Why did you not take them? Why are they not in your room? Why are they not in your apartment? Why are they just sitting there? Laziness.
Because she's laziness. Literally, she's
Lazy.
they're ready to go, and she's like, should I bring that basket of clean clothes upstairs? Nah, I gotta walk my dog. That's laziness. She left them in a. If it's your own laundry room, whatever, you can leave that stuff. This is the building's laundry room.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You can't blame Peter for that.
No, you. I'm also dead too because like, when I think about it, I'm like, is it more embarrassing to run up in your underwear, or is it more embarrassing to run up in women's clothing? Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, yeah,
because he's also ripped, so I don't know. It's just like,
honestly, like throw on the pants, but you don't. Why put the shirt on?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's probably what I would do. I'd probably throw on the pants and leave my shirt, leave no shirt.
Yeah, because the shirt's a red. That was a nice little funny thing too. He walks out, you just see the Juicy. She's just like, wait, what? So definitely my. That's your moment, yo. Those are definitely my outfit.
Yeah,
but she's just like, maybe it's a coincidence. I don't judge. Whatever.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that girl she's wearing Juicy.
I know, that's what I was
Juicy
thinking
sweatpants.
too.
I know that didn't really look like her vibe personally, but hey,
that's what I was thinking too. But I don't know.
Shouldn't judge a book by her cover.
No, you can't. Yeah,
her boyfriend was black.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, I don't know, but that doesn't mean that still doesn't mean anything.
No, actually that checks out. Now that I think about it, that checks out.
But I was looking at her current outfit though. I'm like, that's your vibe? Like what? But it is different. I don't know. Different outfit.
You got different occasions.
You think she'd be wearing more urban attire if she's also on her off days? I don't know. At home, Juicy. You're not just wearing Juicy at home though. If you're gonna get Juicy, you're wearing it out and about. So like, what she should have been wearing then should have been that similar kind of vibe. I don't know.
Well, we just know that she had her dog and she was in the elevator. We don't. Maybe they were going to a farmer's market. Maybe they were going to a dog like show. Maybe they were going to a pet store. Maybe they're going to see a friend.
Yeah, I can't wear Juicy to the pet store, I guess.
Don't wear Juicy. Yeah, don't wear Juicy to a dog show. You might get thrown out for that.
Hey,
so yeah, pick. She gets my lazy award. Next, we have our sixth man, our Keldon Johnson award. This goes to someone with a small role in the movie that did the most with that small opportunity, showed out in that small role. Who gets your sixth man?
I gave it to Frank, aka the Punisher, and it's really, I was saying that I was like, hey, I really didn't have a problem with him in this movie because he's my sixth man. Yeah. I've never actually watched any of the Punisher TV show. I actually watched Daredevil and I saw a little bit of the collab stuff, and I just really liked his dynamic in this movie. Like, I feel like it was a funny dynamic, them talking about the whole Staten Island. Like, oh, you talking about that Staten Island bullshit? He's like, you said it, not me. Like, I just like that.
Would you? MJ's in there. Like, would you call that? What would you call that? Would you call that saving someone?
I just like that whole dynamic. Them just like going back and forth. It's just like, obviously they had to bring it down a little bit because he's dropping I know he's dropping F-bombs and stuff like that. He almost dropped one, but Spider-Man's like, nah, not in my movie.
True.
But he still gets to say shit a lot, which is just funny, which is just such a different contrast that I thought it was just like a funny thing to have in this movie. And you talked about it too, him doing the Spider-Man thing, putting on the mask, and then it's just the they come back and you're just like, why is he they can't hear you. Like
he was just enjoying being Spider-Man for a minute.
I guess
I get that.
I get it. Yeah. He was just like, yo, people, I don't get this kind of a treatment.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody likes Frank Castle. So
I thought he was a fun addition to the movie. So shout out Frank. He's my sixth man.
That's a great pick. I mean, I think Jon Bernthal is also a perfect Punisher. Like, we were talking about him in the Odyssey being a little distracting because he's basically being the Punisher in the Odyssey. But in this movie, when he actually is the Punisher, it totally works. So
no, he's really good at playing that role.
Yeah,
and you think he doesn't sound like that. He's so good at just being that character. When you hear him talking in other videos, I was like, I assume. No,
I literally just
he's probably like he's obviously putting it on a lot more. Maybe he has it a little bit, but he puts it on a lot more, and it feels so awesome. Yeah. He's just so funny every time he comes on and he wants to talk. I'm like, this guy's gonna complain about something, he's gonna be grumpy about something, and I'm gonna laugh at it.
He always does this thing. He's just gonna look away. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? What do we got going on? What would you call that? I don't know. I just want to go home. That's a great answer. Why don't you go and get out of here?
Yeah, it's like, oh, is there something between you and that MJ girl? And he's like, nah, just a friend. That's some bullshit. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's just so great, man. What about you though? Who gets your 6, man?
I give it to Jacob Batalon, who plays Ned. I love Ned. He plays Ned. He's such a likable guy. That's just so great. It's also kind of a legacy award for the other movies too. I just love their dynamic between him and Peter. Him and Tom Holland and Zendaya, their chemistry is just so perfect. I thought about giving it to Zendaya because I thought she was really great in this movie. She was in it a little more than him. I thought maybe a bit too much for the award. I don't know. She has a couple scenes that are like big. So, but yeah, nah, he's just I just love Ned and he's my 6th man.
No, it's a great pick. I don't mind it too. It's just this movie and also as a legacy movie because we haven't done any of the other movies. So we're giving him the nod. It's a great pick.
Yeah. Next we have our favorite quote. What was your best quote?
My favorite quote, actually, it goes to MJ, and it was just like a funny line that I caught that I liked. It was just something that made me laugh. Is when, again, it has to do with Frank again, when they get there, and he's like, I got one rule. You don't touch anything, you don't move anything, and you sure as shit don't ask any questions. And she's like, so 3 rules.
So 3 rules. See, that's so good. MJ is just like this sarcastic piece of shit. Like, it just works, man. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was my quote. Just her saying so 3 rules.
Yeah, perfect.
It's just a good, perfect response. Because I didn't really catch it, to be honest. He was saying I got one rule, and he said all these things. I wasn't even thinking about, like, he just said like 3, 4 things. I don't know. But her immediately quipping, I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah. That's good. You're right. That's a good one. That's a great shout out.
What about you? What's your favorite quote?
I gave mine, I guess to Jean, but it's also MJ because it's when she's like occupying MJ. She's controlling MJ. And it's when she's tricking Peter and she says, and then when she reveals it, she's like, that's it, Peter. Hold her. You know how long you've wanted to. Yeah. Just because I did not see it coming. You made a really good point about like she saw the note and like made Peter aware of like, I'm coming after MJ. So maybe I should have seen it coming, but I was not on that at all. I was buying into that this is MJ. Even like we said, the point where I was like, this kind of doesn't make sense. Why would she remember this? I kind of hope that this is not right. But I don't know. I didn't see it coming. And so that flip just really, really got me. And I think maybe it's also in my brain because I didn't want it to be true because it's cheap, but I did want it to be true because I love these two and I want them and I'm rooting for them and I want them to be together. So when that happens, it's just so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. No, I had the exact same emotions with you. Like I was like, oh man, like I want this to be true, but at the same time I don't, because like you said, it's like I feel so cheap because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like you can kind of explain and be like, because even she said, "Oh, true love's kiss breaks all spells." I'm like, that would be corny as shit. Like that works in a Shrek movie, but it doesn't make sense in this. It would have made no sense.
Exactly.
It's a great pick.
It got me. Next, we have our best scene. What was your favorite scene?
My best scene also had MJ in it. We were talking about. We actually talked about this scene a little bit. It's her finding the note.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and I teased it a little bit, like I put in like just talking about how tense that moment was, just like in the theater. It was like, again, it was like a pin drop because again, Peter comes back into the room. He's just like, oh, like we're all good now. You're safe, Jean. Like, and then just like pulls up the note, and then boom, like you said, no music. Everyone is just quiet. There was a little bit of whispers like in the theater, but as soon as like I found the note, boom, you can hear a pin drop. She's just like, take off the mask. Like, I want to speak to Peter Parker. And we're like, oh my goodness. Like, where is this going? And he's like, he's explaining, he's confessing her love. And then it's her saying, I don't love you was such a gut punch. Like me and my sister are going to laugh about this forever because there was a dude behind us and you would have thought that he was Peter in that moment. He was like, no. he was like, "Oh no!" Like he audibly just like reacted, and me and my sister was like, "Damn!" I'm like, "She's not talking to you, dog. Like, she'd say she doesn't love you."
Zendaya didn't love you already, bro. I'm sorry to tell you, but it wasn't happening.
That man, like, I don't know. Me and my sister were saying like maybe someone he just got this. This just happened to him in his life, and this was
he
a
just
reminder.
got dumped. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like he went through it, but no, that moment was tense, and it was unforgettable moment, honestly, because that I don't love you was just such a gut punch. Like,
it's a really good pick, and it was in contention for my best scene. Because of, I mean, all the things you said, like you come in, you're happy, right? Like they won the fight. Like we did it. You're safe. Everything's fine. You can go home. We're chilling. And we had seen them before that, hanging out, figuring out the thing. And when she figures out like, oh, it's your goggles, right? Like that's what's messing up the thing. And he's like, oh, MJ, you're a genius. And she kind of looks at him like, wait, how did you know my name? And like, so I was like, oh, maybe she's like kind of like figuring something out, or like be like, oh, you know me somehow, or like there was something there. So I was really on that wavelength of like, maybe this connection's gonna grow and turn into something. They'll end up back together. And then for all that to come crashing down was just freaking devastating. But man, so well done. It's a great pick.
What about you? What was
I doubled down kind of with my quote, and I gave it to Peter and MJ on the roof, just because like for me it was such a shocking moment. And like the roller coaster of emotions I went through on this scene, because I totally fell for it. I was up, man. I was like, oh, wait, who are we? Like, I feel like I know you somehow. And Tom's performance too, when he's just crying his eyes out and holding her like that, like, oh my, it's been years and I've wanted to hang out with you and Ned for so long, and I missed you so much, and now you finally know that it's me and we love each other. We can go back to the way it was. And then for that flip to happen, and then her to walk off the roof. I mean, I knew he was going to save her, but it was just such a crazy moment. Like the buildup of yes, we did it. Like your heart is warm. Like they're back together, and then for that all to flip with the line that was my quote was just freaking crazy for someone like me that didn't see it coming. So
yeah, no, it was a great pick. Honestly, it's a really great pick. That was another really great scene too. A lot of MJ talk in the last like last four things we've said.
Yeah, she's I really like that angle. I really like that MJ angle. I thought that was really intriguing coming in. Like, okay, that was the whole end of the last one. Is like, you guys aren't gonna remember me, and they're like, oh well, come tell us. Like, you gotta come find us, and you gotta tell us, and we gotta do this back. So I'm like, how is that gonna happen? How is that gonna go? And I think they nailed it.
Yeah, no, I think so too. That was a really great pick.
All right, finally we have our MVP. Who's your most valuable player?
I ended up giving it to Jean, actually, to Jean Grey. I think she had it is interesting because I don't want to take away the intrigue of like Peter's arc and stuff like that, but I think it's just because I like the X-Men so much. I don't know whether that is, but like I was really interested in just her arc, because it left me wondering like where she goes from here. I think a lot of times you can have characters come into a movie and kind of like be like a soft launch for like what's going forward for them, and it kind of be like, yeah, like maybe that's kind of cool, but this is like a Spider-Man movie. And I honestly feel like obviously it is a Spider-Man movie, but I feel like it was very much a Jean Grey movie too. Like there was she went through her whole arc too. Like she started off as like this faceless villain, and then she got her face, and like she was the villain, and then we didn't know what kind of was going on, and we got the background kind of what happened with her and her sister. It was a small scene, but you got so much from it in that moment. You got the idea that like, hey, mom left us, but hey, we got each other. And then you see that she gets taken by the damage control. So then you understand, I'm like, okay, this is why she's so upset. This is why she's so determined and why she's so ruthless, because it's like, I don't have anybody else. You took the one person from me. I'm going to do whatever I can to get her back. So you empathize with her. And the moment that we get when she figures out the whole VMAX thing too, that was like, it wasn't as much as a gut punch as the "I don't love you" thing, but to me it was still like because I was still like vague on it. I was like, I don't know if 100% Sarah's dead. Maybe
Yeah,
because again it's a Marvel movie. Maybe they'd be like they want to have that moment for her, so then she can kind of fully come around and be like, no, she's actually a good guy again. Because for the most part, Jean she's a good character. It's only like the Phoenix stuff where she gets kind of wild, but I was like, oh, maybe his sister will be, but like when we get that reveal and it's like, oh damn, like that's the last thing your sister saw was she literally got basically tortured to death, and it's just
yeah,
like her going all through that, and then the moment that she got with Aunt May, which I didn't actually like. I didn't foreshadow that and think that like she's gonna get into Peter's mind and have this conversation. That's gonna be the thing that's gonna help her. But
yeah.
then
Me
when it
neither.
happened, I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense. Everything she was saying to Peter, 100% is connects to her, and it's something that she needs to hear because she never got
Yep.
that parental figure saying that thing to her. So like, I just really like what they did with Jean in this, and yeah, I was just really excited to see what they do with her going forward, which is, for at least for me, it's rare when they have these characters come into other people's movies. And usually I don't say I don't care, but it's kind of just like, it was just like a little side thing. But to me, I was
Yeah,
like, this felt like a very strong origin movie for her as well.
it's a really good point. I totally agree. I think what they handled her super well. That it's a really cool point to say, like, because she is the villain of this movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's the villain for most of the movie, and
Mhm.
then you find out the real villain is the damage control. But so if you think about it from that aspect, if you have most superhero movies, your villain gets an origin. You know why they're doing what they're doing and what they want. Um, but for that to complete an arc that turns her into a good person was something that I didn't expect. Even I shouldn't say I didn't expect it. I just didn't know really where they were going. Honestly, I just didn't know, and I think
Mhm.
it was just really compelling. Like you really feel for her, and there were shocking moments involved with that too. Um, and she just has such a cool power. The whole mind skipping thing was just really cool. Even the way they showed it with people like jumping forward in their chair or like lurching forward like when they get possessed or whatever.
Possessed, yeah.
It's just really cool, and I'm very excited to see what they do with her in the future. I am interested though because you're someone that always says, you hate when they give a bad guy like a backstory or something like a
Mhm.
redeeming quality. Like I just want my bad guy to be bad and my good guy to be good. But that's not what they
Mhm.
did in this movie, and you liked it.
Well, well, I liked it because she's not a bad guy though. Like
Mm,
you tell me that Jean Grey is gonna be in a movie, and then like I see her being bad, I'm like, well, it's not a bad guy. It's like if any other person that's a hero is like they're gonna start off as the bad guy in this movie, I'm like, okay, well, I know they're gonna flip. All right, or maybe it's not gonna be in this movie, or maybe there's gonna be a new take where she was gonna be end up being good in the end. So like, I didn't mind it because it's not like they took like the Joker or the Green Goblin, and it's just like, hey, I know they're a bad person, but like they had a really rough childhood. I'm like, well, this is supposed to be just a villain throughout. Like if they did that with if Scorpion or something, where it's just like, hey, man, like
mm.
my dad was like a drunk, and that's why. It's just like, okay, well, I thought. So now, who's the good guy and the bad guy? What are we really doing here? Because to me, like you said, the real villain is damage control. We didn't get like a whole background story of damage control and be like, hey, in the past, we've had some people with powers really messed up, and like I forget the guy that's in charge of damage control. Like a superhero killed my son or whatever, or hurt my wife. That's why I do this. And then suddenly you're like,
Right.
well, so I just don't feel bad. I have to feel bad for everybody. Like no one's bad in this. It's just like a bunch of just complicated people, which
Okay,
is that is what, yeah,
so I guess it's more they didn't necessarily give your villain redeeming qualities. They just kind of flipped who the villain is.
yeah. Which I don't. I with that I
That's
don't
fair.
mind.
Okay.
I just think you can have gray. I don't have an issue with having
Yeah.
gray, but like I just don't like when they go
Jean
too
Grey.
far. Yeah, exactly. I just don't like when they go too far where it's just like, okay, well, like Thanos, for example, that's kind of gray. Because like they said, it's like, well, why didn't Thanos just like give half the world food or just give more food? It's like, no, because he's bad. The bad part of him is just like, no, I'd rather just like take away half people. That's just a bad thing to do. There's no reason to do all that. He could have gave half the he could have had more food or had more resources. But I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. My MVP, I gave to Destin Daniel Cretton, who's the director of the movie. I had a hard time picking an MVP. There's a lot of good stuff that I liked in this movie,
Yeah.
and
No, there is.
honestly, a lot of times when that happens, I kind of just go with the director because like they're kind of just the head of the project,
Mhm.
and but there's a lot of good. Like I thought Tom was really great, and I read a lot about Tom too, saying like, you know, after some of his other movie experiences, coming to this with a different headspace and more experience, kind of being like, "Oh, no, we got to do this right, you know, like we got to do the like he was listening to podcasts, maybe he checked out the film room, and he was saying, you know, people want like street level Spider-Man, and like they want this is what the people want, so like let's give them what they want. But at the end of the day, I gave it to the director, like because like I said, the look and feel was just perfect to me. Like I think that the darker, kind of grittier feel of New York City was really great. The emotional ride that the movie takes you on is just so well done. In your favorite scene and my favorite scene, even in Jean's arc, you know, seeing her kind of accept what happened with her sister and her whole thing with her mom, and now realize that, you know, people care about her, all that stuff was really great. The reveals and the shocking moments kept coming. They just kept coming, and they came at the right time. Like you would you'd be up and then you'd be down, and then like there was just so many things that was so crazy. The action was great. I give a lot of credit to that, to the director, of course. Maybe they had a specific action director, coordinator, choreographer, but I don't know, this guy's obviously overseeing all that stuff. So yeah, there's just a lot of good in this movie that is evenly spread out. So a lot of times I just kind of go with the director on that. So he killed it. It was great.
Yeah, no, absolutely did. And like, I don't know how much say he had on like the actual, like the practical elements of it too, but it was just cool just seeing what they did, like just being in Glasgow and like actually having him on like harnesses and swinging through the streets and doing cool things and having explosions, Michael Bay esque, real
Mm,
explosions in the streets, stuff like that. Versus like, even I heard Tom say like, yeah, I'm sure a lot of the actors too just get tired of just being in blue rooms, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And just not like being immersive, like actually being in real cities and stuff like that. And like it was kind of cool, you like to see the behind the scenes of like the crowds building, because like, oh, they're shooting
Yeah.
Spider-Man, so like there's a whole audience while he's just like on the tank and pulling stuff. Like it's just cool to see all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in this movie, Spider-Man is embraced by New York City, which is a big part of the end. And in real life, that literally happened.
Yeah,
Like you said, like, oh, Spider-Man's being filmed over here. The whole city comes out and just
yeah,
embraces this character. And some of that is because, I mean, just the celebrity of it. Like, oh, Tom
yeah,
Holland's there, and like they're filming Spider-Man. Like maybe we can see some cool behind the scenes stuff. But some people are genuinely like, I freaking love Spider-Man. How cool would
yeah,
it be to go and see Spider-Man,
yeah.
you know, be on top of a tank or swing through downtown New York right now? And they literally came out just like they did in the movie in real life, which is freaking crazy. This movie was awesome.
Oh, 100%. I do the same thing too. Like if I heard that they were shooting in Toronto or something, I'd definitely go.
Hell yeah.
Like if they were shooting in the streets, like if they're doing the boy, because they shot a lot of the boys in Toronto. Like I think like the last, not the last season, the season before that, but they did a lot of that like in studios. If they did any of that stuff outside where I had access to, I'd go see Homelander and shit.
Yeah. That's
I don't love
cool.
Homelander and those guys as much as Spider Man, but it'd still be cool. I don't want to
Yeah,
see it.
exactly. Yeah.
100%. Great pick. Great pick. No certifies this week, but that's okay. It's okay
Yeah, true.
overall.
I feel like
We
we've been
still
on a
we were
dry spell for a little
close.
bit.
Yeah, we were close on a lot of things though. A lot of, like I said, a lot of overlapping MJ stuff.
Yeah.
But all in all good. I want to, if you guys want to join the conversation to be part of our family meeting or just want to leave any comments or whatever, you can follow us. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Reddit at the Film Room Pod. All the episodes are on Apple, they're on Spotify, YouTube. Just search up the Film Room Podcast. And if you want to support the show, leave us a review, written review, perhaps on Apple. You can give us 5. I put 5 hand members. I don't know if you thought anything funny.
Okay.
5, even though there's more
5 hand
members
members, yeah.
of the hand than 5, but I thought because hand 5.
Yeah.
Figured I'd go.
5 flowers on our gravestone.
Yeah, 5 flowers on the gravestone. I couldn't think of anything. Oh, the hand things came to me fast, so I went with that.
Okay. 5 cans of beans for Frank Castle.
Okay, 5 juicy
5
pants.
rules.
5
juicy.
Yeah, 5 rules. That's good. That's a good
exactly.
one.
We only have one. We only want a 1-star review, but 5 of them. And so
yeah,
5.
Frank Castle math, Punisher math.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got girl math. You got Frank Castle math.
Exactly.
1 means 5.
Exactly.
And do you have any final notes? Any final things you want to say before we wrap it up?
I mean, the response to this movie has been really great. Like everybody's been loving it, and I came in with. I mean, I had high expectations anyways because I love the trailer so much, and man, if this is the direction that Spider-Man's gonna go with, then I think we're in for a treat. I actually don't think he'll be in Doomsday. Like now that I see this, so what will be the future of Spider-Man? I don't know. Like that whole space. If we get Venom in here, then that's going to be really cool. The whole X-Men moving forward is really exciting. Like there's a lot of stuff to be excited about. It's been, I think Marvel was clearly on the downswing after Endgame, and they were in the bottom of the barrel for a while. I think we're on our way up.
Yeah, personally, I've liked a couple of the last projects. Like, there's obviously the Fantastic Four is not perfect, but I wouldn't be like trash movie. Like, there was a couple movies where like, oh, that wasn't watchable, not interested. Watched it. I was like, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed Thunderbolts. I enjoyed this. I didn't watch that Punisher movie, like that TV movie they did. I've heard mixed reviews on stuff like that, but maybe I'll go check it out. I don't think it's gonna have to do with anything with the world. I'm assuming that the Hulk maybe is written off too. Is that writing off the Hulk for Doomsday? They said he's in an insane asylum now. Is that just me? How long is he going to be in there for?
Was Mark Ruffalo in that? Like when they did all the chair reveals of all those names?
I don't remember.
I mean, I didn't look. It's not like Thor can't break him out of an asylum.
Yeah, exactly.
Thor's like, no, we need fucking Bruce Banner.
Not true. But that not controllable, the Hulk, though, unless he fixed. Oh, I guess if he's in an insane asylum, they're not letting him fix his gear. So I don't know what that means.
I mean, how does an insane asylum even stop the Hulk?
That doesn't even right. If he gets angry, what does
they
that
just
do?
Pump sunshine and rainbows into his room so he doesn't get angry? Like,
who knows? I have no idea. But I'm excited to see where we're going forward. We'll get some answers and as the year goes on. But with that being said, I want you guys to remember, if you didn't understand the end credits, here is a simple answer. Hulk smash!
Peace out.